there's the white flag from Barney the Flagman. 1 lap to go at Long Beach. White flag is out, brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams.
Yeah, can really hold him off. He looked like he's started to gap Cantonio just ever so slightly. Got about half of a second. It's been hovering right around there. Oh, Cantonio really pushing. He's sideways out of turn number 1. But Rayleigh just keeping that car pointed in the right direction. Nice and smooth, able to keep it going. It's going to be tough. Antonio knows that there's not very many chances, even if he can get close enough to him to make a move. So we'll see as they come through 6 and 7, head toward turn 8 onto the backstretch.
Deeper in the field, nothing changing. Lap traffic ahead. It's Kevin Peak and Bradley Alvis right in front of our race leaders down East Seaside Way. And to turn number 9 for the final time. Lap traffic in the way, and Rayleigh goes for it on Peak. He sends it into turn 9. He knows he can't wait. He knows he can't give an opportunity to Kevin Cantonio. Cantonio's going to take it anyway. Ships it into the hairpin, and Rayleigh's going to get away. Thomas Rayleigh is going to be a race winner in the North American Racing League. A last lap bump and run wasn't enough. This man wins at Long Beach.
Wow, what a finish coming through that hairpin. I thought they were all going to wad it up. We had lap traffic in there, staying in there.
Zelazny might have a run here. He pulls up. 2 laps to go at Auto Club Speedway. What a run this has been. 5 cars out front just dancing around for the lead. Salas back to the bottom. Honeycutt stuck up top. Slide job out of Salas. Crossover out of Honeycutt.
23 should have a big run here. He does.
You see Salas starting to cover it up. He goes up the racetrack. Honeycutt's clear of them both. He shoves it up in front of the 23, gets himself loose. It'll be white flag this time by. Salas down low. Zelazny looking for a hole. Side by side, 3 wide, coffee in it. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go. Brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams. Who is going to win the Luke's Playhouse 200? Honeycutt controlling the race. Coffee in second. Tires are aging. Zelazny off the top rope. Got a little bit free. He's going to crash with lights. And yes, wall there. Who knows? Honeycutt, though, leading the race. Can Coffee get a run? He's going to send it. He hits him. Big bump and run. Coffee's going to try and get away. Can Salas get there? Coffee's going to crash. Salas is going to crash. Watch Nick Lights here to the stripe. Salas is going to do it with no front bumper.
Unbelievable.
Wow. BRB heads west to the land of the Sundance Pizza tonight, making a return to Phoenix Raceway in sunny Avondale, Arizona. Phoenix is a typical late-season race for any NASCAR calendar and has even hosted NASCAR Championship Weekend in recent years. Tonight, however, Phoenix slides back to its historic position to set us up for BRB Sundance Championship Night at Miami next week. Welcome to Pit Stop TV in the virtual Avondale, Arizona. My name is Andrew Cardinale IV. I've got Super alongside again this evening, and it's a pleasure to join you for coverage of the BRB Sundance Pro Series. Tonight's coverage from Phoenix for the Smart Alarm 175 by Castle Smart Alarms is brought to you by Sundance Pizza, by BRB Racing League, and by all series partners, including tonight's presenting partner, of course, Castle Smart Alarms. We're glad to be here at the virtual Phoenix Raceway. It's been a little while. In fact, I do believe this is the first time that Pit Stop TV has covered BRB at Phoenix. Specifically, we've done some Phoenix races in other leagues, and BRB has raced Phoenix while we've covered them, but there was one race where we had a pre-existing term, condition, whatever, with another league, and so we couldn't quite cover that Phoenix race. We're here this evening. We are ready to go in the land of the sun. This used to be my home racetrack, or at least one of. Phoenix and Las Vegas and Fontana were all kind of equidistant. They were my home racetracks where I lived in Arizona. So it's cool to kind of come back out here to Phoenix, to a home track, a place I've been to a few times as a kid, and go racing here this evening. Super. I do enjoy this racetrack. I know it's been a little bit polarizing in recent years. Admittedly, I'm not the biggest fan of the reconfiguration to put the start-finish line out on what used to be, you know, the exit of turn number 2, but I think it has shown, at least in real NASCAR, that it is pretty exciting this way.
I mean, yeah, there's been a lot of controversy with the reconfiguration. I think, yeah, I personally enjoyed it more when the start finish line was like on that big straightaway between modern day 2 and 3. But you have to admit, the chaos like right on the start where you're getting like 10 wide, it's really fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see how these guys handle the restarts this evening. That obviously is one of the more exciting parts of racing at modern day Phoenix Raceway. And we can see kind of where this lands on the schedule this season. I mean, we're right at the end. Phoenix and Miami, the final 2 races here of season number 5. This is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of historic place for Phoenix. I recall when I first went to Phoenix Raceway, it was still Phoenix International Raceway. It was fall of 2007. Jimmy Johnson won the race. It was the last time that Dale Jr. drove the number 8 in a COT. And that was an exciting race. I thought, I mean, I was 7, so who knows, but I got to meet some drivers that day and had a great time. I think this place is definitely really well liked by anybody who lives on this side of the country. So I think while it's been a little bit polarizing lately in NASCAR, I think anybody down near Arizona likes this place. It's a really cool racetrack, and it's exciting to have on the calendar here this evening. Before we get to drivers, we do want to talk about point standings, of course, and here they are coming into tonight. Of course, Super, last time you were with us, I think it was pre-chase still, and things have certainly changed between then and now. But with 2 races to go, we have a 3-point gap between first and second. Adam Buzzio 3 up after his win at Talladega last week. Zach Hall now in position number 2. Brendan Maddox, Stephen Borbell, they are certainly in contention. I would say really it's the top 6 that I'm looking at. I think Richard Wolsifer is also kind of on the fringe. We'll be talking to him later, but he's kind of a long shot right now. He doesn't have the win to back himself up yet. We'll be talking about that specifically here shortly, but yeah, I think really the top 6 right now are the guys to focus on, possibly even 7.
Yeah, I think, especially in terms of like Richard, I think he's going to need an all-star performance here. We got just a few races left to go, and he's 29 points out, no win. I think he's going to understand this is do or die. I think we're going to see a big race out of him today.
We shall see. Time will tell here this evening at the virtual Phoenix Raceway. Right into tonight's MXWraps.com pre-race show, though. We will, of course, kick off with our 3 driver interviews, and we'll actually be going right to the heart of MX Wraps. Let me get these drivers down here. I don't have my usual, I guess, thing set up here, but I will go ahead and get him down. This will be Brendan Maddox that is joining us first up on the list. And Brendan, Boy, I was talking with you a little bit earlier about some short track stats. Phoenix, technically a short track by Sim Racing Hub standards. I don't necessarily disagree. It is right at a mile. It drives like a short track, but you don't have any wins yet on short tracks in BRB. Can we change that tonight?
I certainly hope to. I mean, that's what I want. I want to come out and I want to win. Obviously, that's what every driver would say they want. Historically, I have been very good at these kinds of tracks. It's a mixture of things. Sometimes it's all about staying up front, making sure you have good track position, staying out of some incidents and stuff, and other times it's making sure you're good on pit road and you don't do anything to hamper your efforts on pit road. So, I mean, it's what did I say at the beginning of the chase? It's the small stuff, and I mean that's the same kind of stuff that matters here. And you know, you just got to practice for it like you would any other track. Got to put in the work and you know, come to the track as you would, and just not make the small little mistakes that are going to be what cost you, you know, speeding on pit road and stuff like that. So, those are the things to kind of watch out for. And those are the things that are going to matter when it comes to winning tonight. You got to have speed. I think we have decent speed here tonight. And you got to be able to minimize the mistakes. So I do want to say I had a friend watch, what was it, 2 races ago, Watkins Glen. And after that race, he sent me a message and said, we were just talking back and forth and talking about mindset when it comes to racing and different things. And you know, he knows where I'm at in the chase, and he said to me that just focus on what you can control and control what you can, and don't let anything else get to you. So ever since the Glen, that's kind of been my mindset. I've tried to take that mindset into practice, into these races and everything, and just control what I can. And if stuff's out of my control, it's out of my control. But you know, I could do the best that I can with what I can control, and that's kind of what my focus needs to be on.
Yeah, so I just want to know, you're 10 points out, right? We got 2 races left. But I just want to know who you think, you know, your biggest challenge is going to be in this championship.
I think kind of the top 4, it should be Zach Hall, Adam, and Steven, and then myself. We should be the top 4, I think, right now. And I would be doing a disservice to say Zach Hall wouldn't be a big challenger for that. Adam and Steven are certainly faster than me at certain tracks, and I'm faster than them at certain tracks. I feel like we kind of even it out. But you know, I think Zach Hall across the board is just that tiny little bit better than me. Whether it's tire saving or something long term or something like that, I would say he's got to be the guy that I have my eyes on to watch out for.
And Brendan, specifically today in this race, this is the Smart Alarm 175 by Castle Smart Alarm. Does that add any pressure to you in this race? Forget the chase for a second, forget the championship. In this particular race, have you practiced a little bit extra and fine-tuned your line a little bit and even worked on some strategy maybe to get this one in particular?
No, that doesn't matter. I mean, I can't let that take the focus of it being a chase race and being in the top battle for a championship. So that's that alone has made me put more practice and stuff in. It's not that it's a sponsor race for me. You know, maybe knock on some wood. Usually these sponsor races don't go very well for me. It seems to be anytime there's a sponsor race that I run and I run that sponsor, those tend to be some of my worst races. So I really try not to look at that. I'm trying not to focus on that. You just got to run it like you would any other race, and you know, do the best you can, control what you can, and get the best outcome that you can, and that's going to be what matters.
Well, I see you testing and practicing the pit entry. Congratulations. You've made it a few times, it looks like, without speeding. So hopefully we keep that trend up. I know you've had a couple of run-ins with the speeding police down there this season. But no, best of luck. It's always good to talk to you, Brendan, and hopefully we're talking to you later.
Yes, sir. I hope so. Thank you, guys.
Brendan Maddox this evening, of course, in car 23, with the Castle colors on board his Toyota Camry. We will, of course, have a couple more drivers to talk to, but first I want to take a look, actually, at the kind of car specs, as we've dubbed it here in season number 5. We've started doing with some other cars on the sim as well. I'm looking for the graphic. There it is. From the Cup car to the ARCA car this season. I know we've been in this ARCA car now for a season, but it sounds like we're continuing on with this ARCA car in season number 6 coming up very soon. Super. I know you've got limited experience here with the BRB Racing League, specifically with this ARCA car, but I feel, at least on iRacing, this has been a really good car to add to the sim. I think it's been a fantastic car to drive this season, specifically and race this season with this group. I think it has definitely brought the field a lot closer together, and I think we're going to see that this evening. I expect some crazy restarts. Turn 1 is going to be wild.
Yeah, I've only been here, what, 2-3 races, at least that I've been at least in the booth with you guys. I've watched a couple on my own time, and I feel like every race every race has been a kicker. It's been amazing to watch. I think the drivers, at least from what I've heard from at least Jourdain, he really enjoys driving this car, and he, it thinks it's really good, really competitive, and I personally just love seeing this car. I think the battling is amazing, and I think it provides amazing racing.
Been a lot of fun this season. It has definitely changed things up here in the BRB Sundance Pro Series, and on to our next driver then. That's going to be driver 22, of course, Whiplash Racing in season number 5, but changing things up very soon. Josh, but for now, of course, the focus is still technically on the championship. I know it's a little bit out of reach for you now, but even looking at things in a more concentrated volume, I suppose, just on short tracks in BRB, I know you don't have a ton of starts yet, only 4 so far in this track type. In those 4 starts, though, 15th place average finish. How are we going to lower that tonight?
I don't know, consistency. I feel like short tracks are honestly my specialty. I got wrecked out at Richmond. Should have won Bristol, but there was some iRacing issues from the way the track was set up. Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll figure something out, but we'll be all right.
Yeah, I just want to know, you're not really looking too confident in the championship. I just want to know what you're really thinking about right now as you're, like, as far back out as you are.
I don't know, man. Just finish the race. I don't know if I finish a single race yet in the chase, so that's about it, really.
Some trying times, certainly, but a lot of great notes, I think, this season. And transitioning over to Spirit Racing, I think you've got a lot that you're taking over there. Of course, the race win at Darlington earlier this season. So I guess, looking forward, if the season is what it is at this point, looking into the summer of 2026 and getting back to points racing very soon, what can you take over to the new season from Season 5?
Lots of speed, new teammates, maybe some new insight. Just trying to, I don't know, gain some more experience, really. Maybe, dedicate a little bit more time to the sim. Trying to get a little bit better.
Well, as you take the impact there to the inside wall, we certainly hope not to see that too much more this evening. But Josh, it's good to talk to you as always, and hopefully we're talking to you later.
Thank you.
Josh Parent this evening in car 22 doesn't sound too excited, I'll be honest, Super. He doesn't sound too enthused right now. Hopefully that changes for him by the drop of the green flag, but I think this guy might be a little more excited to talk to us this evening. Richard Wolsifer, right on the edge of still being in it to win it for this championship. I know it's a tall gap ahead of you, Richard, but it's not insurmountable at all. It's definitely doable if you get a couple of good stages here in stage 1 tonight at Phoenix and again next week at Miami. So how are you going to accomplish that? Obviously you still got to finish the race well, but for the stages, how are you going to focus on that short run speed and follow through to get some stage points?
That's a good question, Andrew. Problem is Phoenix has never been a track I've been consistently decent at, so it's going to take a lot of concentration tonight, just being patient, still trying to learn what's the best way to save tires as well, because tire fall off here is going to be big in the longer run, so trying to save that right front and that right rear, the balance between both of them is going to be big. Trying to figure out how to do that and just try to be there when it matters. It was an upsetting situation last week, got caught up in some crazy stuff that happened in the front and caused a checkup, so missed out on stage points and a good finish. Now I gotta kind of step it up tonight.
Right, so you're the highest driver up currently that doesn't have a win. I just want to know, do you think that this can be a race where you can change that? Do you think that you can finally get your win?
If all the stars align and the planets align as well, summoning the Titans and Hercules, yeah, sure, I can make a win. But no, I don't think this is a track that I can easily get a win at. If I do, it's going to be a little bit of luck, I think. I'm definitely going to try my best, but it's, like I said, it's not one of my strongest tracks.
And with this track specifically, we're going to see one of our first transition races in a while. From light to dark. As an iRacer, I mean, of course, the real world, that's usually a big storyline in these kinds of races. That transition typically really changes the racetrack and the handling of the race car, and they, of course, can throw adjustments at it. But here at iRacing, fixed setup racing, you can't really do a whole lot, so what can you do behind the wheel? What are you expecting to have to deal with behind the wheel as the sun sets and the track cools off?
Yeah, like you said, in real life, they're able to adjust the car to how the driver needs to compensate for the change environment. For us, it's kind of on us to change how we drive the track. We got to be we can either be a little bit more aggressive if the track, adjusts to the good, or if the track adjusts to the worst, we got to be a little bit more conservative. So it really all based on how we have to drive the car, on mainly your throttle input on when you can fully get into the gas or not coming out of the turns. So it's going to be interesting. It's a lot of change. But yeah, we'll definitely see what we can adjust with the way we drive as we go from the sunlight to the dark and as it cools down.
Richard, it's good to talk to you once again this season, and best of luck out there. Still have a chance. It's a long shot, but hey, put in the work. We'll be seeing you up there in no time.
All right, thanks, Andrew.
Richard Wolsifer with an interesting opportunity ahead of him, I think, Supra. Again, it's not close by any means. He's 29 points out, but I think it's just close enough that he should not be downtrodden or anything. I think he's certainly still got a chance at this championship so long as he does good in the stage tonight. That's where it's going to matter, is making sure he gets stage points. So practice will wrap up here. Dustin Stallings on top over Jordan White, who is the top chase driver, and just until moments ago was the top driver in this practice session for quite some time. So as we have 22 cars signed in, Jordan White, one of the fastest out there this evening as we get ready to go qualifying here in just a moment. The sun should drop down a good bit behind the turn 1 grandstands, and we should... No, it's going to stay right where it is. I like that. I like when time rolls over. Well, as these guys get ready, I do want to look at the MX Wraps race weather conditions, and there you see 82 degrees really in the air, 85 on track. That's a little bit warm, admittedly, in the date and time, kind of interfering there with the graphic, but there you see May 15th. That's why. So middle of May for these guys in virtual Arizona. It's a little bit warmer than you might expect in February.
Yeah, what I'd do for some 82-degree weather.
Yeah, I think a lot of the country, especially after the snowstorm that just went through the Northeast, I think a lot of the country would enjoy that for sure. But we have cars on track for qualifying, and that means we can get into our best in show segment, if you will, by, of course, MX Wraps. And I was showing you some cars earlier, Super, to show you around, as you don't have iRacing up and ready for you on your side of things. I'm going to lead off, and then I'll give you a chance to get your two, and I'll wrap up with the fourth. I got to go right for this guy. I've got a toddler. He has watched plenty of Miss Rachel in his day, which means I've watched plenty of Miss Rachel in my day, and Icky Sticky Bubblegum is a staple, and it's got to be Rusty Rafferty for me with this Miss Rachel Chevrolet.
And it's really good. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to watch the show, but judging off of what you said, I might have to give it a shot, honestly.
Well, who you got for a couple of cars? I'll cycle around here. I know I showed you a handful earlier, but then we do also have Dan Stockero out here, who was not in the sim earlier on.
Yeah, I think you might actually just pass the guy I was going to go for. Scott Fritz in that beautiful 48 car. I don't know what it is about it. I think it's just like I said earlier, it's just like the McQueen kind of feeling to it, but it's not, it's a very appealing car to look at. That red, yellow, it brings back memories of watching Cars and all like the happiness and joy that movie brought me. I just love it so much.
we're going to have to finally follow through and have a Cars-themed race with paint schemes and such here very soon, I think. I've been talking about it for a while, we just haven't been able to do it yet. We do have Jordan White on the racetrack. I do like the gold tint here. He's got the wrong decals, it looks like, on the car, but maybe I can refresh Trading Paints and help him out a little bit here in a second. But that's what Jordan's working with currently.
It's a really nice scheme. I'll give it to you.
And Scott Fritz will go fastest here in qualifying. Well, you've got one more pick to make for Best in Show. I know a handful of cars have already gone, but from what you have seen out there, who you got?
I think I'm going to have to give it to the 00 of Dustin Stallings. I don't know if we can pull it up, but he's got those wings. Yeah, like those wings on the 00, like the light kind of like almost pinkish color. I don't know why. I don't know why it's making me like just so like excited to see it, but I really like how it feels. I like just like the beauty of it. Like all like the lines just seem to like perfectly like combine into one amazing looking machinery, and I think it just looks amazing.
Well, as qualifying wraps up here, let's ride on board of Dustin Stallings, because the paint scheme that I'm going to nominate next is unfortunately not on the racetrack currently. That is Coulter Clark's Jimmy Johnson throwback. I will put that in the vote, though, and I'll show it off here shortly. So we will get the Best in Show vote up over on YouTube. You can begin to vote on that poll through the end of stage number 1. That was lap 2, I think, for Dustin Stallings. That was lap 1, rather. He goes 18th quick. Of course, he's the reigning champion. Not able to defend it currently, not in the chase this season, but reigning champion here in the BRB Sundance Pro Series. Let's see what he's got here for lap number 2. Can he start this race on pole? To the line. It's going to be a whole lot quicker. 26.5. He might have it. He does. 26.516. 1/100th of a second there for reigning series champion Dustin Stallings there in car 00. How about that as Sam Dyer takes a couple of extra laps here in the number 35?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn here, but the two cars that I picked are currently 1 and 2, so.
Fair enough. Well, we get ready to go racing here this evening from the Phoenix Raceway. Glad you're all joining us this evening. Always glad to have a big crowd for the BRB Sundance Pro Series. We do, of course, want to take a look through the Whiplash SimCam's race details, and we'll do that here before we hit the grid. This is a 175 lap and 175 mile race this evening as Phoenix checks in at just about exactly 1 mile. The stage will complete at the end of lap 60 and then send us back around for 115 more. So kind of a short stage 1 compared to the rest of the race, but these guys, I think, will have plenty of strategies to employ throughout the course of the evening. As always, 4 change sets as per normal, and the 70% fuel load out there for these guys as well. We will hold off on power rankings for now, because I know the grid time here could be kind of short on these 1 mile racetracks. So for now, Super, let's just go down through the ATVO starting grid, beginning with, of course, pole winner Dustin Stallings. Not racing for a championship this season, but out there on pole here at Phoenix alongside Scott Fritz. Starting from 3rd, it'll be Adam Buzzio on the 5. Brendan Maddox from 4th place. Starting from 5th, Johnny Wood Jr. alongside Gray Walker, who is not in the chase this season. Back in 7th, Coulter Clark is in the chase alongside Zach Hall, who is qualified kind of low this evening, surprisingly, there in the 32 car. And it's Jordan White and Richard Wolsifer to complete your top 10.
Devin Borbell on the inside, number 2, starting in 11th. He's got Sam Dreyer on his outside, that 35 machine, starting in 12th. And in 13th, on that inside, we've got Carl Pooler in the 71. On his outside, Caden Perkins in the 19th. Of course, followed by the 34 of Rusty Rafferty. He's got 16th, this 22 car in 16th, Joshua Parent. He's going to be hoping for a big race today. Got 17th, Anthony Tiseo in that 51 machine. And then he's got Ethan Patinko in the 81. Cole Lewis, that 52 car, starting in 19th. Dan Staracco in the 62 will be starting on his outside.
And the final row on the grid will actually belong to the 16 and the 8, Robert Moyer Jr. and Dakota Bly. That makes up our 22-car field here this evening. So a little bit lower. I know springtime is around the corner, and while some states are frozen and under 2-3 feet of snow, some states are warming up already, and I think might be losing some drivers there to some of these spring festivities around the world. But we do want to take a look now. We do have time. I think we can hit power rankings here quickly before we go green. Here they are. Zach Hall on top in the number 32, but not by a whole lot. His total didn't go up nearly as much as Adam Buzzio's did after the win last week at Talladega Super Speedway. So certainly I think Zach Hall is still kind of the series favorite right now, but he's got work to do as Buzzio leads the standings and Hall is 3 back. Then you see Borabel, Wood, Wolsifer, Fritz, Maddox all very close. But here we go, Super, out of turn number 4 at the Phoenix Raceway, around to turn number 1. The Castle Smart Alarm 175 is green from Phoenix. The Land Rush through the dog leg down to turn 1 went wild there. And here we go already. Toyota's at the front of the field. Stallings and Maddox lead. It'll be Fritz in 3rd, Buzzio 4th. And look at them go way down low.
I think we're going to be getting 3 wide as we go up here to the depth. 3 wide. Fritz on the inside, Stallings in the middle, Maddox on the outside. Oh, we're going to see a big run out of Maddox here. Can he get clear of Stallings? Yes, he is. That's what you can see on that outside. You're going to see a whole lot of runs to get on through the depth.
And Maddox will have the lead here on lap number 2 over Fritz, Stallings, Buzzio, and Walker. There goes Fritz way back down low. He's not alone. A handful of cars going way down there.
Yeah, at this point, when we're still in the lower speeds, it's still a lot more advantageous to go down there. Once we get to the higher speeds, oh, we already got a spinner. That's Stallings. He's going to lose the car out of 2.
Oh, boy.
Big pile up.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
That is huge.
Just too throttle happy. There's a lot of heavy hitters too that I see that were involved in that incident. Wow.
Wow. This is going to be huge. As far as chase hopes for really everybody, this is going to be really, really large, and this is going to impact a lot of drivers. Dustin Stallings, the 00, we saw him go around front of the field. But how did that happen? Here is the incident for driver 00. He's got Adam Buzzio to his inside into the corner. Is there contact here, or was it on his own? I was honestly looking through timing and scoring, and Buzzio just tagged him. And oh my gosh, in front of the entire field, Hall, Wolsifer, Buzzio, Clark.
Yeah, I saw. Oh my God.
Wow.
It's a game, really, it's just, anything can be changed just by a little bit, and I really just think, right, just trying to gain that little bit of advantage, probably thought that Stallings was going to be going a little bit higher, so he tried to gas it, just misjudged it. It happens in racing. It's really unfortunate. Look at all the cars.
I mean, there was just nowhere for these guys to go at all. Back this up a little bit. I want to see this for driver 56, Wolsifer. We talked to him in pre-race. He's back here behind Hall and Clark. There you see Coulter Clark's car there on the bottom. This is going to be huge for the championship. Oh, wow. I mean, nowhere to go. And that's a decent hit for Wolsifer. That's going to be engine damage, I think, certainly for car 56. And, you know, Zach Hall even being in this is a big deal. Jordan White has already called it a day in the 83 car.
He's already done?
He has left the session. There he is.
Wow.
We were able to get the decals fixed on the 83 car, it seems, but he just ran right in the back of the 56 car, and he was done. He got hit a little more. Borbell just tagged him.
It's also going to kill the viewership, because I know he loves promoting it to all his friends.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's going to hurt things all around. And I saw the 32, of course, involved in this, but I didn't see exactly how hard he initially hit or got hit. And it's a decent hit to the left rear. Honestly, you know, that's not that bad for Zach Hall. That could have been a lot worse. I think he'll continue on just fine. But a few cars here in the back, I saw a handful of big hits. Even Johnny Wood Jr. got some of this. See, there's just nowhere for these guys to go. A track blocker for sure.
I'm still just like, I don't even, this big of a wreck this early on in the race. I don't even know how to react. I don't even know what to do.
Well, just like that, we go back green. They didn't give us much time to review the incident as there goes Fritz around.
Oh.
I don't think that's going to bring a caution. No caution for Scott Fritz off the restart.
That sucked. I don't know what happened to him there, but I mean, just look how far back he is. God, that just sucks for him. Not going to matter now. We're going to take a look at the lead. You see they're still trying that inside. It's going to be like that for a little bit else again. With those lower speeds, it's more advantageous to go down there, but we're going to see them stop doing that once they get the higher speeds, so then that way they don't do any unnecessary damage to the cars. That banking sucks.
Caden Perkins, a late entry to the race, has moved into the second spot. Sam Dyer into fifth. Oh my, this is not at all what I would have expected even an hour ago as we got ready for this race. Yet here we are, Caden Perkins fastest as one car is slow on the bottom. That seems to be Jordan White, actually. So he's back in the car. He had gotten out of the car. He's back in it. Good to see that, but he is 3 laps down.
Still, good for him for getting back out there in a car that probably everyone would understand if it belongs in the junk.
Meanwhile, Zach Hall, I think all eyes are on him tonight. He's got 4 wins. And frankly, only being 3 back of Buzzio coming into this evening, I feel like he is probably the favorite right now for the championship. Considering his track record this season, I feel like he's destined to pass Buzzio in the standings, but it's up to Buzzio to change that, really, and it's up to all these guys to kind of fight against him and keep the 32 from winning the championship, I feel like. But regardless, Hall has done so good this season. He joined a couple of races late, 4 races late actually, joined in for Charlotte for race number 5, has won 4 races since, including 1 here in the chase at Watkins Glen. That little bit of damage though in that opening crash doesn't really seem to have hurt him at all. He's up into 5th now and chasing down Pooler and Wood directly ahead.
Yeah, and you were talking about championship earlier. I'll tell you one guy who's really excited about what's happening. Brandon Maddox. He's 10 points back. And if you take a look at it, the 2 guys he's fighting, Buzzio and Hall, are in 5th and 8th. This is going to be a huge points.
Even Borbell behind him is back here only in 10th. So if Maddox is able to hold on to this the entire first stage, and there's still a long ways to go in this stage, but if Brendan can hang on to it, it certainly will be a big gain for him. But as I say, a long ways to go in the stage. Hard to say exactly how this is going to go. But there you see Brendan Maddox currently out front. Caden Perkins second, and another Toyota in third. That is Carl Pooler.
He's starting to pull away a little bit. I noticed that. Just create as big of a gap as you can right now. Just go from there on. Perkins does have the fastest lap, but I've noticed at least in the past 2 or 3 laps he's been losing a couple tenths here. I think it's really going to be interesting to see what happens if Zach Hall can push it. He's now into 4th. If Zach Hall can push his way through, try and catch up, I think if he can catch up to Brandon Maddox, he's not going to make it easy for him.
Johnny Wood Jr. trying to keep the 32 car at bay currently. You know, Johnny Wood Jr., I felt like of the BRB regulars that have been here for seasons, was probably the favorite coming into the chase. Last week at Talladega, though, really derailed that for the driver out of Mooresville, North Carolina. So he's trying to kind of get back up on the seat tonight and get back into championship potential form. Racing here for 4th place with Zach Hall. Hall on the inside, I think, has the advantage, surely, in the 32 car right now. He seems faster. But no pit stops out of these leaders, and There weren't even many cars that threw tires on. One that did throw tires on was Adam Buzzio. He runs back in 8th. Another that might have thrown tires on, I mean, Clark, Wolsifer, Rafferty, they took, 30, 50-second pit stops, but it really doesn't look like too many more took tires at all.
Yeah, and what I'm noticing looking at that ticker is that we did unfortunately lose Dakota Black in that big incident, at least I assume. Oh, no, he is out there. Oh, well, I thought he was 14 laps down. I didn't know if he was calling it quits, but no, he is still out there, but I think this might be our first big casualty of the race, and that sucks.
Might have been a late addition. I know sometimes his work can get in the way of his racing, but he is out on the racetrack now in 22nd spot. He's at least here for the vibes this evening. And yeah, I very much enjoyed this throwback Dale Earnhardt Jr. Amp Energy Diamond Mountain Dew paint scheme. Very much enjoy it. And glad it's back on the racetrack here tonight. Battle now, though, between Gray Walker and Sam Dyer. A couple of the more northern folk as far as the scoring pylon goes that is not in the chase. These two drivers did not make it this season. Walker got pretty close, but not able to build on his Season 4 successes, as he's also winless this season versus the win in Season 4 back at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So Walker certainly has high hopes going into Season 6, but needs to pick the pieces up quickly. Season 6 is just around the corner in the month of April.
Yeah, and as we were talking about that, I do notice Zachary Hall has since cleared Wood. He started to pull his way. Now he's starting to catch up to Carl Pooler in 3rd place. I think we could be seeing him make his way up to 2nd by the end of the stage.
And this is everything that these other guys do not want. I think everybody else in the chase wants the 32 to kind of be held back tonight. Maybe not crash or anything, but at least not advance, because they know how good he is on these intermediates. So when we get to Miami next week, I think he is surely a favorite to win that race. Obviously, we'll see how the race ends up going in a week's time.
Yeah, we see him just looking around, trying to make a move past Carl. He definitely looks faster, I'll tell you that, but he just can't seem to find a way around.
Lap times don't make passes, though. You've got to actually set somebody up, use the racecraft to get by them. And so far, I don't think Zach has any shortage of that, but he's at least got to put it to use here, as there he goes, down low on Carl Pooler through the dogleg. We'll get alongside the 71 and now have the inside line for the quarter, and will make the dive.
Yeah, but remember, Carl's going to have this big run. Carl's going to have this big run. You see he's coming back at him. Oh, he had to lift. That's unfortunate. But Zach Hall up into 3rd place, potentially looking for another move right away for 2nd place on Perkins. We see both of them going very low through that little turn 1 section. Now you see he's trying to look on that outside. The reason that a lot of drivers are doing this is because they're going to be able to arc the car in, really turn the wheel a lot less, and you can see he's definitely gaining on Perkins here. You're going to see a lot of guys going wide in turn 2 just because of how advantageous that run is down that big, long back straightaway.
You and I were talking earlier. Really, it was me talking and gloating about how good I used to be at Phoenix on the old NASCAR 15 and NASCAR 14 U-Technics games on the Xbox 360. Well, my line that I used to run here at Phoenix would be to arc right down there and run on the red part of the racetrack, the apron there, through what was 1 and 2 at the time, and then kind of do exactly what you were saying down in what used to be 3 and 4. Now the ends of the racetrack have flipped, and this is now 1 and 2 that we're in here, and it's 3 and 4 down on the other side of the racetrack, but the equivalent thereof now would be to still diamond kind of and get that late apex and straighter line off of turn 2 and down this backstretch. That's what is working so well for Hall right now. But you can't really go down and run what used to be the apron, or still is the apron, I guess, down here in 3 and 4 now. They kind of flattened it out more. It doesn't have the same kind of natural banking that it did way back when on the older configuration of Phoenix Raceway. So you can still hook against that wall, and you still want to get as low down to that yellow line as you can. But that line of running the apron, I could even do it when I came over to iRacing in the trucks, on the older Phoenix where the start-finish line was still where it should be. As far as driving experience for me, I don't race very much anymore. I can't tell you the last time I raced at Phoenix Raceway on the sim. But, I see these guys doing that same line that has worked here for years. Even if you go back and run the 2008 scan of Phoenix, and we'll be there soon in the Nora Retro Cup Series on Mondays, that same line down in that same end of the racetrack works. The higher entry, later apex, straight line onto the backstretch here with this configuration. But it seems like the higher banked end of the racetrack that is now 3 and 4 has always just been a little bit more different, and I think that's where a lot of these guys are going to make their time tonight. How they get through that sharper curve, I think that's going to be a big difference maker. Obviously, these guys know, get the run off of turn 2 here tonight, you're going to have the run down the backstretch, but I think the difference maker will certainly be down here in 3 and 4.
Yeah, Phoenix is just such like an odd track. I don't think I think, right, you have Darlington as probably the weirdest track on the schedule. I think this one takes like an easy second. It's just the two ends could not be like any farther apart. It feels like you're just driving two completely different tracks.
I would say Gateway or Pocono might be a little more odd, a little further out there. Gateway, I always thought was like Darlington with a wider 1 and 2 and a tighter 3 and 4. It's the opposite. 1 and 2 are tighter at Gateway, 3 and 4 are wider. It's really deceiving, I will say, at Gateway. And the Pocono obviously is a triangle, so that kind of goes without saying. That's just a little bit strange. But battle here between teammates now. Evan Patinko down on the inside of Anthony Teseo. That is the fight for 11th. Their other teammate is up the road. That's Josh Parent, who at least is slated to be departing this team to go to Spirit Racing in season number 6. And there will be some shakeups even at Whiplash Racing.
So many driver moves. I feel like at least every race I've been here for, I've heard of different driver moves.
Yeah, not too many in the season. I know there were a few because Meatball Motorsports effectively dissolved earlier this year. So that moved a few guys around. Of course, Jordan White went over to Spirit Racing, and Anthony Deseo went over to Whiplash Racing, and that kind of moved things around a little bit. But we're going to see a few going into next season. I know Accelerate is kind of dissolving, so I think Coulter Clark is headed to Spirit, and there might be a couple of other moves around there. So that is definitely changing things up for season number 6 that is just around the corner. I know Scott Fritz, who we saw spin out on the restart. By the way, he is in 16th. He has raced ahead of Dan Stockera, Richard Wolsifer, and a handful of others. He's trying to pass Dustin Stallings currently. But Scott Fritz is actually headed over to 6.5 Motorsport to be a teammate to Richard Wolsifer, Johnny Wood Jr., and Jamie Plord. So that'll be a bit of different scenery for him.
And as we've talked, I have noticed, I just took a look at the board, I do notice Brandon Maddox, his gap, they coming to a very, very close amount. Zachary Hall has just been like on rails today. Came from, I don't even remember where he came from, but to go from second, like to go to second, if we were only on lap 34, I think this is going to be his race.
A long ways to go. I will say, looking over at the YouTube chat for the first time in a handful of laps, I agree, the 75 looks good. We wanted to mix it up and nominate a couple of paint schemes we haven't yet talked about this season. But yes, I agree with the collective in YouTube chat right now that the number 75, the Coors Banquet Chevrolet, does look fantastic. That is Johnny Wood Jr. back here in that car. And yeah, Richard Wolsifer did a great job with the spec map on that. It reminds me exactly of a can of Coors Banquet. And I've had a few in my day, that's for sure. Johnny, by the way, he's still top 5 working here on Carl Pooler and Caden Perkins, so he could even be 3rd here soon before the end of stage 1.
Yeah, he's had a great race so far. A little bit quiet, but still very good for a chase driver. He's the 4th highest chase driver, and with not many laps remaining. Oh, sorry, we have a caution. I just noticed that.
Yeah, caution's out. Dustin Stallings around. That happened in a hurry, and the Season 4 champion is not having a good night. And this has been the story of Season 5 for Dustin. He got the win at Daytona, and since then, it's like all the luck has left him. He used it all up last season. Racing here with Scott Fritz. We had just looked at this battle. This is for, what was the 15th spot? Dustin up in the second lane there, just gets loose. So unlike the first caution where he got just barely tapped by Adam Buzzio, in this case, Dustin literally just lost it. And that, of course, I'm sure is due to the damage. He's a great driver. I don't think this would happen if it wasn't for the damage.
Well, yeah, you don't become a champion as a bad driver. I think just the damage, wasn't quite used to the car, just goes around. It's unfortunate.
And pit stops now. Everybody coming on in. And you see cars pulling into their boxes. Carl Pooler pretty much going to win the race off the pit lane. It's actually mostly fuel only for these drivers.
We have
pretty surprised by that. I know there's still a lot of race to go, but I feel like a set here can completely flip the stage for you.
I do see your point, but I think a lot of these drivers who might be out of the chase, I could see why they're going fuel only, because, you're 38 laps in of a 175 race, and you only have you can only get 4 tire sets. I see their point, right? Like, why would I waste a tire set now if I don't care about stage points? I can really understand the fuel only kind of call.
I hear a handful of drivers shutting the cars off and saving right now under caution. That, of course, definitely the idea. You want to save as much fuel as you can, make sure you have enough when we go back green, as we will double up this time and go back racing. Patinko, Teseo, and Moyer all stay out. The first car to pit and get back on the racetrack is Carl Pooler. He's going to line up 4th. He took fuel only, it seems. Maddox, I believe, took fuel only as well, and that seems to be the theme all the way down to Johnny Wood Jr. Watch the 75, these final 20 laps of stage 1, 21 laps that is. He's going to have a fresh set. Also, Stephen Borbell seems to have taken 4. Adam Buzzio seems to have taken 4. And then Josh Parrott seems to have taken 4 as well. So a handful of cars taking a shot here for stage number 1. A handful of cars just trying to get some track position here. As I want to take a look quickly at this graphic here. You can see 2 lead changes, 2 cautions. Let's see how this goes with this next restart. Green flag back in the air, Phoenix Raceway under the lights now. Maddox putting the chrome horn to Robert Moyer Jr. down in turn number 1. He's up into Zach Hall. The run now down the backstretch. Cars making contact. 4 wide for a moment as Dyer got up into Walker. And everybody now sorts off of turn number 4. It is Evan Patinko leading. How about that? With Anthony Teseo position number 2, Carl Pooler 3rd, then Maddox and Hall.
Yeah, and there was an amazing restart for Patinko. I don't even know how far ahead he jumped. As we see Zach Hall, big run, making a move on Maddox. These two were 1 and 2 before the caution. Now 4 and 5. Hall gonna try and get into that 4th spot. Brandon not gonna let it up. He's gonna get that big run on the outside. Hall will get that shorter inside. I think he'll side by side. Hall is gonna get it. He's gonna try for 3rd as well over Pooler.
Yeah, he's down underneath that number 71, who tracks still behind Teseo. Pooler gives him all the daylight down there, and even Maddox takes it. That's gonna send Pooler packing. He's gonna fall way back, and now it's about 3-4 wide here in the back end of the top 10 with Caden Perkins and others. Borbell down low, Buzzio down low, Parrott looking through. He's gonna go 4 wide maybe. And the first car on tires again, that was Johnny Wood Jr. It is now Adam Buzzio.
Yeah, Buzzio already into 5th. Still got plenty of laps in this stage, I believe about 18. Yeah, 18 if I can do my math right. So I could honestly see him winning the stage here. I would not be surprised if he's our stage winner.
That's what I was thinking back on the caution as Maddox gets back to Hall, gets ahead of the 32 car. Look at Buzzio down low. Big time digging in that 5 car. If he can keep on moving like this, I think the stage win is certainly within question, as now these guys have dispatched of Anthony Teseo, so Patinko's still leading, but not by a whole lot as Maddox starts to bear down on that 81 car and they come around to lap Jordan White.
Yeah, sucks for him. He was involved early in that wreck. But you have to give him respect. He's still out there. He's still pushing.
It'll be a 5th lap down for Jordan when they get there. Look at that big move. Maddox to the inside. Patinko has to give him room. This is for the race lead. Of course, Brendan feels the pressure. He's trying to get going. There is now Buzzio to the inside. They battle for second. Parent has showed up.
Maddox going to try around that outside. Oh, here comes Buzzio. Huge move down the inside.
That's those new tires.
He's going to get past Maddox. Looking down the inside of Patinko. Trying to get a nose in there. Patinko has to give him a little bit of space. Here he goes with that big run down the inside. Going to cut it short. Can we see him get the lead? Graphic says he's leading.
Buzzio with the lead in the one. Parent sends it. Maddox trying to find a way through still. Borbell down low. Maddox has now gone from 2nd to 5th.
What a move.
Teammates side by side for 2nd and 3rd. Patinko a little too high up the racetrack that time. 3 wide off the corner. Maddox in the middle. Johnny Wood trying to look through now. And Zach Hall is just kind of sitting back at us, letting these guys do their thing as Patinko scrapes the wall there into 1. He backs out now as the 2 slides up the racetrack. Maddox gets underneath the 2 for a moment, can't hold it. And Patinko really starting to slide.
Yeah, Zach Hall was up there. Now look at him. He's down in 7th, currently trying for 6th. That's exactly what Buzzio wants to see right now. Currently leading the championship over Zach Hall. And he's in 1st in the stage, and Zach Hall's in 7th. This is going amazing for him.
It is. This is a really big opportunity for Buzzio as there's a side-by-side fight here for 4th. That is Wood on the inside. He's got tires. Maddox on the outside does not.
Yeah,
I would expect the 75 to roll on through, and as we approach 10 laps from the restart, it is all new tires in the top 4. It did not take very long, so that's why I'm so surprised so many cars stayed out there. I guess not so many, but so many took fuel only. 3 stayed out completely, but a bunch took fuel only, no tires at all. And this is why I'm surprised, because the guys that did go for tires are now leading the race, 4 of them.
Yeah, those guys that didn't take tires probably kicking themselves right now, wondering what they were thinking. Jordan White, again, the gap is closing. Currently 4 laps down. Really sucks really just sucks for him.
Meanwhile, battle here for 2nd place. Borbell putting pressure on Josh Parent. Really the first time we've seen Josh Parent today.
You know what, hey, he's in 2nd. That's a great result for him, as looking to lose the position to Borbell. Side by side, Parent's going to have that outside, going to get a huge run as we come out of 2. We will remain clear.
Laps are winding down to vote in today's MX Raps Best in Show contest. Currently leading would be the 54 of Coulter Clark, who's got some damage back here in position number 16. But there is the paint scheme, at least for Coulter, albeit through some battle scars. Also in that vote, you'll find the 34 of Rusty Rafferty. He's racing with Richard Wolfsfer. This is for 13th spot. Wolfsfer's got a bunch of damage. And then, let's see, Dustin Stallings also in the vote. He's in the pit lane, unfortunately, a rough night for him. And Scott Fritz also in the vote, also kind of a rough night. Really, all these Best in Show guys, they're kind of consolation prizes today. They are all towards the back after issues in that initial crash a little while ago.
Yeah, I feel like we might have unfortunately jinxed him there, as we see Wood trying to make a move on Parent, peeking around that outside. There's Jordan White up there. He's getting lapped.
He almost got the right rear of Buzzio there off of turn 4. But Jordan's car a little all over right now.
That's probably from all that damage.
As this top 4 starts to walk away from the rest of the place, or rest of the field rather, 5th on back. There is Brennan Maddox with Zach Hall right behind. They have broken away from everybody else. So you've got a couple of different groups here. Leading off at the top 4, then these two, and then everybody else back here. Patinko trying to hang on over to Seo, Perkins, and Pooler. And that, I think, was a great play, all things told, by Patinko, because if he can hang on to this, that'll be a bunch of stage points. 4, maybe not a bunch, but a good number of stage points for the 81 car. And that's going to help him out, you know, in this battle versus guys like even Parent. I mean, obviously Parent's ahead of him right now, but even against Jordan White and some others there at the bottom end of the chase. While it might not be for the championship, they still want these points.
Yeah, as with the laps winding down, everyone's kind of just trying to get as much as they can. I did notice when we were talking about
Caution.
Maddox and Hall.
Caution,
Oh.
Carl Pooler, Caden Perkins, Sam Dyer. And they're still crashing. Scott
Yeah,
Fritz came
there's
into
Fritz in
it.
the back.
And this will effectively end stage 1. So congratulations, I do believe, to Adam Buzzio. Let's bring the ticker back up for a second. This should be your top 10. Buzzio, Borbell, Parent. Then Wood and Maddox complete the top 5. Paul, Patinko, Teseo, Wolsifer, and Walker. And so, yeah, with pit stops beginning here now, this is going to complete stage 1. And so those 10 drivers will grab themselves some stage points. And here's the field down. Oh, they're crashing in the pit lane.
Oh, what the hell?
Wolsifer and Walker.
Got a couple crash-happy drivers, I see.
We'll see. We'll look back at that here in a second. But here are the leaders coming around turns 3 and 4 to their boxes.
I always thought it was weird how they could pit like in the middle of a corner.
It's definitely an odd visual, but with the orientation of the grandstands and such, it makes sense. As there goes Johnny Wood Jr. Fuel only, it looks like, for the 75. Tires going back on the 5 car. So he's down an extra set there.
Yeah, I get why Wood didn't take any tires there. I mean, he just took tires. That'd be a complete waste of a set when you already have so little.
Let's go back and see what happened here with the 56. Was it a Wolfsburg? No, it was who the heck just
I saw
crashed?
30. I saw the 35 in
Yes,
these.
Sam Dyer. Yeah, it was Dyer, Perkins, and Pooler. That's right. Here they are off into turn number 1. Perkins down low in the blue and yellow number 19. Pooler up top in 71, hits the wall, ricochets. Oh, wow. A lot going on there. That's
But then
how
how
Gray
does
Walker
Fritz
lost
get
his
involved?
bumper.
Oh,
Checking up.
I see. Fritz
Rear brake.
locked it up.
One more look high above. Pooler just smacks the wall, comes down, and also got hit there by the 35 as they go careening all over the racetrack. You see Wolfsburg coming up on this. Fritz zigged when he should have zagged, spins it around, hits the wall as the leaders were somewhere in the distance. But then something happened further up the road with Wolsifer and Walker, and I want to see that. Well, oh wow. Hang on.
How does that like happen?
Well, let's see. So here's Wolsifer. And here comes Gray Walker. Oh, he's got no left front. It's not turning, that left front. So that'll do it. He ends up just not being able to turn. He was hitting the brakes, then just smashes there into Richard Wolsifer. So Adam Buzzio is the stage 1 winner. We're about to go back green, though. Here we go. Green flag. We'll get Buzzio on the next caution. Oh, crashing Parent, Borbell, Maddox,
my God.
Patinko, and many more. Another track blocker off of turn number 2.
There's a lot of good cars involved in it too.
Oh my goodness.
It's been chaos coming out of two so far.
I know I needed an opportunity to talk to Buzzio for his stage interview, but I didn't want it this soon.
But at least you're gonna get it.
Maddox down here. Borbell kind of came down. He kind of came up, but Parent had nowhere to go. Patinko, Teseo, all of Whiplash in one go. A bunch of Maverick in one go. Oh, my goodness.
It's been chaos coming out of 2. We've had, what, three cautions so far? Just from 2 alone?
Yeah, I think so. Man.
It's just such an odd corner. So easy to make a mistake.
And I saw a couple of cars really have some big damage. Hopefully everyone's able to continue. But this is going to be a big, big problem for a lot of drivers. You see the 23 just got into the 2 a little bit.
God, look at Parent go around.
Oh, he got hit really hard there at the end. White was even in this. You know who I think got through it, though? Is the 34 of Rusty Rafferty. I think he gets through it. If he does, it's going to be a Murtis Esports mega miss, very certainly. He's right behind it all starting. Okay, just scrapes to Seo, but wow, look at that.
Wow. There was barely enough room for a car. Oh my god.
That's incredible. So a Murtis mega miss right here for Rusty Rafferty.
Yeah, get him a new pair of underwear. He's going to need it.
Watch this. Just skates right on through. Wow.
Oh my god.
Well, let's see. If we've still got a chance here, we will dial up the 5 car of Buzzio. Hopefully we get one more lap of caution for us to do that. Well, we can go ahead and make it quick. Let's dial up driver number 5. If I can get him down here. Discord is not wanting to cooperate. And we'll bring in stage 1 winner. We didn't get to talk to because of the incident there under the last caution, and then Adam, we had another one, but stage 1 winner, picking up right where you left off at Talladega a week ago. This is big, potentially for the championship. Adam, how important is that stage win for you?
It was super important. It was important enough to sacrifice a set of tires to get it done, so, you know, no matter how we come out of here position-wise tonight, we'll have those stage points and some lap sled, so it's all about points right now, man. Winning the race would be great, but got to try to get every point we can.
There's been some chaos behind you. We'll try to dial you up one more time and talk to you properly as you guys are about to go green, but best of luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Get him moved back up to his team channel, but that is a quick chat with stage 1 winner Adam Buzzio. Here we go, back green. We're racing again at Phoenix Raceway. Cars all over in the short run down to turn number 1. Look at who's second.
Yeah, field definitely looks a lot thinner now, I'll tell you that much.
Importantly, though, Zach Hall up to position number 2. He has gotten by Adam Buzzio, at least for the time being.
They go into 2. Hall still ahead of Buzzio. So who's that? Is that Maddox in the back? He's moving into the pits, I think. I want to say that was Maddox. He might have some damage.
Well, so he's going to have to serve this penalty as having been the driver to cause the last caution.
Oh, right. Yeah, that too.
And we also saw Pooler pit right off the green flag. There he is exiting the pit lane, it looks like. He has had to serve a penalty as well for causing the caution prior. Didn't get a chance to do so before the last crash. So Pooler about to go a lap down. Actually, here come the leaders.
Who was that in the back? Tagged the wall hard. I think that was Buzzio.
It was. Buzzio, Hall. Or rather, Wood, Hall, and Buzzio, your top 3. There goes Hall down to the inside. Can he get alongside Johnny Wood? He does!
Not going to be able to... Yeah, he does clear him. Sorry. Wood. Going to have the run, though. What can he do with it?
These cars are so planted. I feel like in a battle, you've got to be the one to go down low on the apron through the dog leg. But there's something to be said for that run back off of turn 2 on the backstretch. Hall, though, now with the advantage. And there goes Johnny Wood way down low. Trying to get that run back on the 32 car and dive here to turn 1.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like if you can't get clear in turn 2, then the outside is by far the best. As we're going to see, just look at the run he's going to get. Wood couldn't clear him, and Hall is just going to pull away. Over a tenth, almost 2 tenths now, he's ahead.
Hall just about hooked that inside apron. As now Buzzio's going to go way down low. You see just how low he goes. Clears Johnny Wood Jr. by turn 1. I think these cars are planted enough. If you can, you've got to take that apron on the front stretch through the dogleg. Cut as much of it as you can. Just about every lap.
Yeah. I mean, as you see, everyone's really just following your advice, right? They see that spot, they're going to take it. Shortest way around, quickest way around. It's just how it is.
Battle now for 4th. Scott Fritz has shown back up. He's in the top 5.
He was a lap down. He might have gotten his lap back during that whole big fiasco.
Well, he has gotten ahead of Evan Patinko. Of course, that for position number 4. Patinko now in 5th. Perkins 6th. Rusty Rafferty having a career day so far. He's in 7th after missing that last crash. There's Wolsifer back in the top 10. Borbell in 9th with that damage from the most recent accident. And then Coulter Clark is the next car in the top 10. And the final car in the top 10. Coulter Clark also the winner of today's MX Wraps Best in Show contest. So congratulations to the MX Wraps Painted number 54.
It's a great scheme, I'll give him that.
I'm disappointed that Miss Rachel didn't win.
Well, your kid's also probably very disappointed as well.
Yeah. It's one of those days. Can't win them all. Sam Dyer right behind Coulter Clark here. These are 2 of the final cars on the lead lap. Currently, the final car on the lead lap actually is Brendan Maddox back here in 12th place. He's only a couple of seconds ahead of the race leaders. There's Maddox and there's Hall. I know it wasn't a great example, but here, let's do this. Here's Maddox. Turn 3, and there's Hall. Turn 3.
Yeah, probably about 5-ish seconds separating.
I think about 3 even. I think it's about 3 seconds, 3 or 4.
I'm never good at time.
Regardless, Hall is quickly approaching that number 23, so Brendan Maddox needs to get moving. And I know we're still high on the stage win for Buzzio, but this is not what he wants.
Yeah, we're approaching that halfway mark coming up real soon here. Buzzio just trying to chase down Hall. He did get more points in that stage. I think that's really going to help him in the battle, but if Hall can win this race, I think it's going to negate a lot of the momentum that Buzzio could have gotten from that stage win.
And of course, I always like the move to go for stage points, so I like that Buzzio took a chance there. The problem, though, is he's down a set of tires. So when we get down late in the race, if we have a late race caution, that's going to hurt him big time.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's a really lucky break for him, considering how many drivers are at least 1 lap down. We only have, it's according to the ticker, we only got 12 drivers on the lead lap, so at least if a late caution does come out, he won't have to worry about losing too many spots, but again, if a late race caution comes out, I think he's just screwed.
Riding on board here with Adam Buzzio running in the 2nd spot currently. He's got a big gap back to Johnny Wood Jr. I didn't expect this kind of pace out of Adam, but he is running really, really well. He is keeping tabs with the 32 car. And so this, I think, showing as soon as the sun dropped, the 32 got really, really fast. We can actually look back at the MX Wraps weather conditions, and you can see the ambient temp has dropped, 5 degrees? Something like that. It's dropped at least significantly.
I believe we started at around 82.
Okay, so a few degrees.
Yeah. Still, a few degrees is a lot.
The big thing is, even though the average track temperature is still around the same point, mid-80s, I'm sure it warmed up when the race got going there. We just didn't check it. So it would have gone probably up to closer to 90 there briefly. And now, well, it actually warms up there. It goes up to 87. But yes, the average temp is still pretty close, but the line that these guys are racing on is coming down a little bit. I think these guys are moving around a little more, so other parts of the racetrack are warming up. But also, I think those parts of the racetrack that might be warming up because more guys are hitting them while they're cooler to begin with because the sun has set and it's no longer beating down on the racetrack. So there's a lot of nuance. The singular value of 87 degrees doesn't tell the whole story because each line, each bit of asphalt has a different temperature, and so you can find, just like in dirt race, you can find, more moist dirt in dirt racing, where there's still a little bit more water, a little bit more moisture, where it's not as tightly packed, not as badly run in. Similar to that, even on asphalt racing, you can find cooler racetrack, whether it's oval or road, and have a little better grip if that's what you need, or you can find warmer racetrack, and that's what you do in rain racing, for example. You want to run the racing line, or off the racing line rather, not because of temperature actually, but because that's where the asphalt is still porous, and so you can get traction in the rain.
I've never liked rain racing. Always end up spinning. I don't know how to control myself in the rain.
It's definitely an art, that's for sure. As here's a battle for 5th place. Rusty Rafferty. I mentioned him having a career day. That is a pass on Evan Patinko if he can get it complete. This would be for 5th position.
Yeah, it's... Well, there's your scheme. There's your scheme doing pretty well for himself.
Yeah, I voted for Miss Rachel, or nominated Miss Rachel, I suppose, there on the inside, and I painted the 81 on the outside. So, nice little combination here.
As we're going to see Patinko on that outside, just going to get cleared by Rafferty. I think that's going to put an end to it. Rafferty will be holding on to 5th unless we can see something in 3 and 4. Doesn't look like it.
Patinko now goes way low there in the 81 car. He's looking for daylight down there.
Struggling to find any as that sun is setting very fast.
It is. If we go to the scenic cameras here, you can tell the sun has set significantly. Lights are on, and this place looks fantastic, I will say. I know, again, it's certainly an odd racetrack and maybe not everybody's favorite, but NASCAR and Phoenix Raceway definitely did a great job at renovating this racetrack. I was here in 2007 and 2011, and the racetrack was very different then. Very, very different. I mean, we're talking 15 years ago. I didn't like that. Didn't like that. Yeah, 15 years ago, last time I was at Phoenix Raceway, and it has changed very significantly. I remember at the time it was still the tiny little press box there at the start-finish line on what is now the backstretch. Now they've got wraparound press boxes and suites all the way around turns 3 and 4. It is a very different racetrack in 2026, but man, it looks good. The whole field's spreading out. While they run some laps here, we anticipate, I'd say, pit stops at about 20 to 30 more laps. I do want to take a look at what's upcoming for us actually here at Pit Stop TV the next little while, and this includes next week's season finale at Homestead Miami Speedway. Between now and then, we'll also be racing this Thursday at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, and we won't get into it here this evening, but I know this is a trying time for the country of Mexico, and I think we'll be thinking of them certainly the next 2 weeks as we race in Mexico with the North American Racing League on Thursday evenings. Pros on track this week, amateur drivers on track next week. That'll include some of the drivers racing here this evening in the BRB Sundance Pro Series. In between the North American Racing League event this Thursday and the next BRB race next Tuesday, we also have that race at Bristol Motor Speedway for the Nora Retro Cup Series. I'm excited for that. 2003 NASCAR Cup cars on track at the world's fastest half mile. You can catch all these broadcasts and more all across our social media platforms, all listed down below. You haven't missed any passes on the racetrack while we've been talking and looking at these scenic views. We do have a battle sparking now for 7th position between Caden Perkins and Richard Wolsifer. On board with Wolsifer.
Great drivers. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're good. Just on board here.
Yeah, 2 great drivers here. Had their up and down so far in this race. I believe believe Wolfsburg was turned around, so seeing him in 8th place, you know, super sauce. You can actually see a little bit of that damage on the nose. It really doesn't look right. You see a little bit poking out on that left. Yeah, you also see a little bit of damage at the bottom.
Yeah,
So,
front and rear of the
Matt
car
Clark-
definitely damaged. The 19, I think, looks okay. Well, no, he's got some nose damage as well. I know he's been involved in a thing or two. So both of these guys fighting through the damage right now and doing a great job of it.
Well, yeah, he's also got side damage now as he tags the wall. And he's going to tag it again. You can see these drivers just getting as close to the limit as they can. Some of them going a little bit over. We've seen many drivers hit the wall coming out of 2 so far.
These guys both starting to run down the 81 of Patinko just up the road. Meanwhile, a battle for 10th sparking between Borbell and Maddox. Maddox around the outside. These two made contact earlier to cause that big melee out of turn number 2. Coulter Clark goes a lap down in the background. He's getting passed up by Zach Hall, so he will fall 1 lap down. Borbell and Maddox are next, so this is the race for the Lucky Dog spot, and Borbell loses it. He will get passed up in a hurry by that 32 car.
Very wide. And now Clark's going to have a chance at him. It's a little odd. I didn't expect him to go that wide. But he's going to be able to hold off Clark. It's Clark a little bit loose. He's caught right there. Had to overcorrect it. It's going to cost him a whole bunch of time.
Brendan Maddox now with the 32 just behind him. You see him back there out of what is kind of a mirror view here for the 23 of Maddox. He's doing a good job of trying to run away from Zach Hall, but I think it's inevitable that Hall gets there if we stay green. However, I'm sure Maddox right now might be hoping that these two cause a caution somehow. Maybe not get it, wadded up, but at least bring a yellow out to save the 23 car.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a mimic of stage 1 before that caution where Hall's chasing down Maddox, although this time it's not for the lead and it's 2-lap Maddox, but still, great drivers despite what happened with Maddox. You see Fuzio, he's now going to get past those two. They're side by side now. They're going to go for a fight.
A rough night here for sure for these guys at the Phoenix Raceway, but everybody's trying to make the best of it as Wolfsburg has gone by Perkins for the 7th spot. Sam Dyer a little further back. Perkins seems to be struggling with the handle of that race car. He's been in the wall a handful of times. And Caden was running Road to Pro earlier. I know he signed in at least to that session in his Toyota Tundra. Actually had Pit Stop TV colors on it this evening, so unfortunate to see him out of that race, but always glad to see Caden running here on a Tuesday night in the BRB Sundance Pro Series. While I know in this case it required unfortunate circumstances in his Road to Pro efforts, it's good to see Caden on racetrack, on the racetrack here this evening in his Storm Seeker Toyota Camry.
Yeah, there's some front nose damage. Just see it looks a little bit dented there.
Yeah, right in front of the left front wheel. It's definitely kicked in pretty good. He's been into somebody else or into the wall pretty significantly at some point, and we believe we saw it there in the wreck with Carl Pooler and Sam Dyer earlier. Meanwhile, this might be the best battle on the racetrack currently, and it's a battle we saw a little bit of back at Michigan International Speedway to kick this chase off between Borbell and Clark. Clark won that race, making it his 2nd victory in the BRB Sundance Pro Series. Now, though, this is the battle for 11th, as these two guys run 1 lap down. This is actually currently for the Lucky Dog spot, but not for long, as Hall has caught Brendan Maddox.
Yeah, Kent Maddox going off, that is the big question. But Buzzio, he's crossing his fingers, he's begging Maddox to hold off Hall as much as he can. Maddox, he's just driving his line right now, not trying to hold up Hall. It just seems like Maddox is just running his normal line as of now.
Yeah, Brendan kind of needs to do that right now. He needs to kind of hold the 32 car up for his own safety, here in this race. If we can catch a caution before Maddox goes a lap down, he can just line up with everybody else. If he goes a lap down, yes, he can get the lucky dog, but that would restrict him to having to restart at the very end of the line, even behind the lap cars, and that would, of course, very much hurt his efforts. So Maddox definitely has a reason to fight the excuse me, the 32 car currently to keep him behind him and not go this lap down. For Maddox, there is another car up the road, about 3 seconds, that is Perkins, and then it would be Dyer and Wolsifer. So there are some others in the neighborhood. He's just got to try and get up there and pass them as this long run continues here at the Phoenix Raceway. We wadded up a handful of cars earlier. In fact, there are 6 currently out of the race, out of the 22 that started. The final of the running cars currently is Cole Lewis back here in the 17th spot. Unfortunate that he has had so much of a detour, but glad he's still racing. 2 laps up the road, Dakota Bly. Man, he's been 14 or more laps down all race long, but he has now gained about 6 positions from 22nd up to 16th. So props to him for staying in it. Meanwhile, Robert Moyer Jr. is out of the race currently by about 12 laps. And Jordan White is playing the attrition game to get some of these spots back and is now into 14th spot in car number 83. Carl Puller, trying to survive tonight, is in, let's see, that's 13th. And he's got a lot of damage. That car is not driving right. I think it's a little bit cattywampus on the straightaway even. Watch his hands. Especially the run here into turn number 1. Really low entry. He's actually getting passed up here by Wolsifer, so he will soon be going a 3rd lap down. As the leader is not far back of these guys. Patinko in this group as well. There's the leader off the corner in Zach Hall. Up in 12th, it's Coulter Clark. He runs 1 lap down now. Has not been able to pass Stephen Borbell. And Borbell is up the road in 11th. In 10th currently, that would be Brendan Maddox trying to hang on to the lead lap, but he's going to lose it right here. Zach Hall to the inside. Maddox not giving up yet, but now he's going to be slow off of turn number 2, and I think down here in 3, Hall will have the advantage. And yes, nose ahead now of Maddox. It might not be over just yet. I think down here now in 1 and 2, we'll see the 32 car likely go on by the number 23, and yes, that puts Maddox 1 lap down. There goes Hall, a 3rd lap down. Up the road then is Caden Perkins in 9th. About to go a lap down. Evan Patinko in 8th, about to go a lap down. Sam Dyer in 7th. Whoa, Patinko up the racetrack. Watch out. This right in front of Maddox and Hall. Maddox now back on the lead lap. He just got back ahead of Hall. I think Hall's kind of backing out now. I mean, he's got a 3.5 second lead here, Super. He can afford to give up a little bit of time, but not too much.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's getting very close here between these two. As we see Patinko trying to make a move.
And Patinko will go that lap down. There goes Maddox to the inside now of Caden Perkins. This for position number 8. So Maddox still going to have a decent result if this race continues just like this, but Hall is starting to put him down. And see now has lapped up through 9th spot. Perkins hits the wall there off the corner. Patinko going to sail to the inside of him. And Maddox is still on the lead lap for at least a little bit longer. Dyer and Wolsifer now in his windshield. This is the kind of drive he needs to have right now. He needs to get back through all these spots, as many as he can, to stay as close to the 32 as possible. It's still going to be a lot of points against him here, Super, but if he's going to stay alive, this is what he needs to do. He needs to just tread water as long as he can, move up as far as he can, and hope for a caution to get him back in the game.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it is very impressive just to see how long he's been going and just refusing to go a lap down, honestly. It's honestly kind of inspiring stuff to see. So, Hall's going to pull in. He's coming into the pits.
There you go, pit stop for the race leader. He will pit on his own. I think this is a... Oh no, there comes Adam Buzzy in the background. I was going to say this might be a strategy move, but they have run 53 laps. I wonder, can they go the 63 remaining? Still, I wonder if this is a strategy move from Hall to get out of that traffic, get to some new tires, get back in clean air, and run some quick laps again to get away from the 5 car. But Buzzio pits with him. Wood continues on a little bit longer. There's Buzzio into his box right about here. And for Hall, of course, this will be 4 tires all around.
I think they could make it. I think they can make it to the end if they do a little bit of saving. If not, they might be coming in 10-ish to go. But I think they can make it.
I don't know for sure, but I certainly get the feeling that they were going to try and run this all the way to the end. Whether or not that's going to be close, I don't know yet. But Maddox has now come in for service.
Yeah, he probably realized that if he waited any longer, Hall was going to get just too much of a gap, and he was going to go a lap down, so he had to pit as soon as he could.
Johnny Wood is in. Rusty Rafferty now coming in.
It's been a great day for Rafferty so far.
There's Caden Perkins. Richard Wolsifer also in his box. And you're right, it has been a fantastic day for Rusty Rafferty. I'm not really sure where it came from. Obviously, I think some of it, most of it, is probably circumstance. I don't think he was too confident coming into this evening. But sometimes all you really need to do is just stay alive. I mean, I was just thinking about it with Maddox, you know, the Bee Gees song, Staying Alive. You can do CPR to. I mean, that is the epitome of the race right now for Maddox and so many others. Just staying alive. As I do want to bring this to attention, Scott Fritz saving a lot of gas right now. That was clutch in for a big portion of the corner. Let's listen to it down here in 3 and 4. Clutching again. Right down around the inside. So he's saving all that he can currently.
Gotta wonder what his plan is.
He must not be as confident in these guys. Maybe the limit is about 53, 55 laps. And so he's trying to stretch this out to eliminate a pit stop. Now he's coming in. Doesn't seem like he's stretched it out too far. He's only at 58 laps to go. So he's about 4 laps shy.
He could, like, over the course of, like, 58 laps, I think he could 100% save.
Time will tell for Scott Fritz. Sam Dyer is the current race leader, obviously in the middle of a pit cycle here, and now he's going to pit, and that will bring Patinko in as well. And there goes Zach Hall, who's got the race lead and has now lapped Brendan Maddox. Maddox racing back here with Wolsifer, some contact.
Little love tap right there.
Whoa, watch out.
Yeah, guys, really starting to get antsy here as we start counting down the laps.
I don't think anybody expected this long of a green flag run, certainly after what we saw earlier with the amount of cautions, as Coulter Clark is trying to stay on the lead lap, or rather, he's trying to stay 1 lap down versus 2. He had some kind of issue, it seems. He will go a 2nd lap down. So he lost a lap in this process somehow.
Yeah, and just we just saw how hard some of these drivers are pushing it. As Wolfshire just about, I don't know how long ago, probably about, like, I think it was exactly a lap ago. Just coming through 2, almost lost it. It was a great save. You just see, like, how hard these drivers are pushing it. Every single one of them trying their best.
Wolfsfer has now run down Rusty Rafferty, and boy, it seems some things changed during that last run. We have now lapped up through 4th place because Brendan Maddox is in the 4th place. There he is in turns 3 and 4. He's 1 lap down, but running 4th. I mean, this is a shocking race now.
I mean, that's what happens when you have, like, 5 cautions in stage 1. I mean, 10th place is 2 laps down. Is right in the back. We're gonna see slamming into that wall is the 2 of Borbell. 2 laps down.
If we continue caution-free, I don't think there's any touching the 32 car. Unless he makes his own mistake, I don't think anybody's getting Zach Hall.
I mean, he's done everything he had to do. He is... I don't even really know what there is to say. This has been an amazing race from him. Lights out.
He was not stellar or anything in qualifying. He started 8th, but he's now led 50 laps. It took him kind of all of stage 1 to really get up there. And even then, it took him a little bit into stage number 2 to actually get the race lead. But he has not looked back since taking it.
Yeah, everyone's been trying to do all they can, but they just can't catch up to him. I believe he also does have the fastest lap. I believe when we were during the whole pit cycle, he was able to come out, snag that fastest lap. So, I mean, he's having... Yeah. There it is. He's having one hell of a day.
I had to make sure I still had the override button. Although I don't know if I can... There we go. That graphic is set up to come up automatically when there's a new fast lap, but I have an override built in where I can pop it up if I need to. I think that's the first time, though, in about 3 or 4 years that I've done so.
Well, doesn't it feel nice?
You know, I finally used the button. So yeah, I'll give you that. Just inside now, 50 laps to go here at Phoenix Raceway, quickly approaching the final race of the season at Homestead, Miami next week. This is a much different picture than it was even 100 laps ago, let alone coming into the evening. We thought we had a great race going there in stage 1, and we did, and then it all went awry very quickly. And suddenly we're left with a very spread out field right now, all with varying degrees of damage. A few cars still without some damage.
But yeah, it started off right nice and calm in that bright, sunny sky. Unfortunately, I believe it was lap 3. Dustin Stallings just got tagged a little bit by Buzzio, who's now actually in 2nd. And ever since then, it's just been absolute carnage. It's just really unfortunate, but what can you say?
Or at least it was carnage through the remainder of stage 1. And then as soon as we got into stage 2, these guys figured things out in a hurry. And I think, again, part of it is just these guys have damage now, so it's hard for them to race like they were before. But even earlier to cause that stuff, it wasn't anything terribly egregious. It was little things. I think the most egregious of them, and this is a stretch, was Carl Pooler hitting the wall and getting hit by Sam Dyer. Even that wasn't necessarily egregious, but it was probably the most egregious of those turn 2 incidents. The other two, I mean, it was Buzzio just barely tagging Stallings, then it was Maddox just barely tagging the 2 of Borbell, and both cause large incidents.
I mean, yeah, that's just racing. Right? Everyone's so tightly packed. It's really just unfortunate, but just a couple unlucky draws, and it resulted in the top 3 being the only cars not a lap down.
And this is a new graphic for us. We polished this up in pre-race today. The CC's Business race stats. See, the racetrack is here in Avondale, Arizona. It is the Phoenix Oval with the open dog leg. 4 cautions this race so far. One of those was the stage caution, but it was brought out for cause. You can see 10 lead changes so far. I'm not really sure why it's saying 131 cars. Admittedly, I don't know why. I can promise you we don't have 131 cars in the racetrack. So we'll investigate as to why ATVO is telling us there's 131 cars in the track, but 132 now.
You gotta admit, that would be really fun. Oh, yep. Keep adding more and more cars.
You know what it is? It's counting the laps.
Oh.
It's 132 complete. So I wonder if we misclicked the data binding. Regardless, 10 lead changes is the part you need to know in that. 43 laps or 51 minutes remaining. This race in total ends up being 177.1 miles or 285 kilometers on the dot.
Could you imagine if we had 133 cars out on track? Oh my god.
There would be no room for racing. Cole Lewis working out the pit lane here in car 52. There he is.
I haven't really talked about him like all day.
He stays very quiet. In this case, got some damage early, so he's running down here in the 14th spot, 18 laps down. But he's one of the good guys for sure around the series. That I don't think there's anybody who dislikes Cole Lewis. It does help his case, I suppose, to be a Canadian. It does not help his case to be Canadian, though, in Olympic hockey, apparently.
Don't get me started. God, I love being an American.
40 laps to go as of the line there for Zach Hall. Again, this is a strange race. This is not what we're used to with BRB. This long, super strung out kind of racing. Typically, even when we do have green flag runs, we have much more battles around the racetrack, but everybody kind of defeated themselves or was taken out in incidents they didn't cause. And so now we're left with Zach Hall having a clean race car. He minded his P's and Q's, kept his car clean through all the chaos and calamity, and makes it through the smoke and the carnage with the best car on the racetrack. Adam Buzzio running in second. Certainly something to be said for him, and he has those stage points from stage one. Obviously won the stage. So he's certainly got something going for him. And then Johnny Wood Jr., I believe, involved in a crash or two. I'm surprised that he's running this far back, though. He just doesn't really seem to have that much speed here tonight. But I think when we get to the intermediate next week of Homestead Miami Speedway, we can expect him to be a little bit better, a little bit faster.
Yeah. A driver I really want to shout out real quick is Rafferty. I mean, again, just an amazing performance. And we remember that absolutely insane near miss. Perfectly threading the needle between a couple cars. It was beautiful to see.
Miss Rachel Machine just threaded the needle there in that crash we saw earlier. If you missed it, you got to go back and find it when the broadcast uploads later. It was a beautiful miss. He is one lap down here, but running in 5th position.
God, that's so weird to hear. 1 lap down and in 5th place.
I want to give a big thank you, certainly, to all the partners of the BRB Sundance Pro Series. Here's a look at them. A big thank you to Sundance Pizza, of course, Ascendance Trucks, Ideal Lease, KC Athletics, RevSimShop.com, Performance Food Group, Whiplash SimCam, CC's Business, and MXWraps.com. And a big thank you to our partners here at the channel. Of course, led off with Whiplash SimCams. But a big nod as well to MXWraps.com, ATVO, Murtis Esports, CC's Business, and the North American Racing League. And on that note, Super, we do have the North American Racing League Driver of the Day vote coming up in just a little bit. I'd say we give him at least 10 more laps. And then we'll start that conversation up.
I feel like there's really only one guy you can talk about.
I disagree, actually. If you look through, let's see, look at positions gained. For example, right side of the ticker now, but left side of the screen, 7 for Hall, but you got the 10 for Rafferty. He's easily in contention. 9 for Patinko. Even 4 for Wolsifer, considering all we've seen Wolsifer go through today, the crashes he was in earlier. I think those 4 spots up for him certainly is worth mentioning.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
And I would argue even the stage win for Adam Buzzio is worth it. But it does
there
certainly,
goes my point.
It does certainly appear, though, that Zach Hall, if this race continues green, is very much en route to a 5th win of the season. And Man, we've been saying this now for at least about 30 laps or so. We've got 30 to go still. If we get a caution, I think anything can still happen. But long run, he has got it figured out here at Phoenix.
Yeah, we're starting to get into that stage where we become like baseball commentators and we start talking about random stuff.
This is definitely, again, an abnormal sight to be this spread out. I mean, I'm looking across timing and scoring. The closest battle on the racetrack right now is Anthony Teseo and Josh Parent, and they are parked. It just so happens they're parked about one pit stall apart, so they're the closest two cars in the racetrack. The next closest, and the closest of the cars that are running, is Sam Dyer in 8th, trying to chase down Scott Fritz in 7th. This is the closest active battle right now, and they're 7/10 apart.
It's just such an odd race. I don't.
Phoenix will do that to you.
Yeah. And, you know, what we really haven't talked about is how unfortunate this race has been for some guys. You know, maybe those guys on the edge of the cutoff, or like where it's reasonable that they could win the championship, right? Some of those guys involved in a couple wrecks early, you know, they might be starting to realize now that their championship hopes are over, and it really just is unfortunate. Hate to see it.
It is worth mentioning that we did receive word of how the Season 6 schedule will look very, very soon, later in 2026, actually in April, when the next season gets going. We will begin the season, of course, at Daytona on April the 7th, then continue on through Dover and New Hampshire. We knew those races already. The next race for points on the calendar will be on Cinco de Mayo at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. That'll be race number 4 of the season on May 5th, and they'll continue on to Texas and the Daytona Road Course, and then Indianapolis Motor Speedway right around Memorial Day to cap off the month of May. The next race in the calendar then goes to Iowa Speedway, the 7/8 mile track there in Newton, Iowa. And they're off a week until they go racing again at Rockingham Speedway in North Carolina. After Rockingham, the run to the chase becomes Kansas, Martinsville, Motegi on the oval at Motegi.
Motegi?
Yes, Motegi. How about that, over in Japan? And then the Michigan International Speedway for the regular season finale. And then later in July, these guys will head out to Bristol Motor Speedway. So beginning the chase on a short track, that's certainly a way to do things. That's going to be an interesting one for sure. Then Sonoma Raceway will be the first time the series goes to Sonoma. Then Talladega in its traditional slot, Talladega Super Speedway. As there's a pit stop for Zach Hall. I wondered if we might see this. Quickly, the final 2 races on the calendar next season, Atlanta and Auto Club. But this, oh boy, this could change things. I had the thought in the back of my mind that they might have pitted a little bit too early, and that the extent of their fuel might only take them about 53 laps like we saw earlier. This stop comes after 38 for Hall and 37 for Wood. Buzzio's still on the racetrack, though. Has he been saving?
Yeah. Well, I think
Hall missed his box! Hall missed his box!
Oh my god. Oh my god.
This, oh my goodness. This could be everything. Johnny Wood, don't miss your box here. Johnny Wood Jr. right into his box perfectly. Adam Buzzio continues on, but Zach Hall missed his box.
That's essentially just a drive-through penalty.
And now
right
he's
there.
back out there. What? Is he now hoping for a caution?
He's not going to get it. I feel like he just got to commit.
There's no way. Rev, if you're listening, there's no way he got a drive-through, right?
No. What would he have even done?
Oh, look ahead. Jordan White in the back end of Richard Waltzford. I thought there was contact. No crash or anything. Things have picked up suddenly within the final 25 laps. Right as we were about to do driver of the day, everything might be changing. There's Buzzio in the pit, so yeah, certainly I think these guys need fuel.
I think we're going to be seeing... sorry, I just looked at the YouTube chat. We got someone saying fuel only. as Buzzio is changing his tires. I think.
Well, so for Buzzio,
Yeah,
it's
that's-
2 and away for him. And so for Johnny Wood, he took 4. That's interesting, this late. But then there you see Zach Hall.
Oh my God.
Look at this. You see the box time 0. He ran straight through the pit lane, did not stop.
And he's just staying out there. I don't know what his game plan is.
So we saw them run about 50 laps previously, so that tells me he's got about 15 cautions out. It's going to save him.
Oh my God.
It's going to save him. And now Johnny Wood is a lap down.
Well, he's gonna get the wave around though, right? Wow.
Wow is right. Something was going on for Jordan White.
Some break on the car?
Looks like it. So this is down into turn 1 and 2. Right behind Richard Wolsifer. He pops low at the 56, and then Wolsifer comes down, kind of tail slaps to the 83. Right at that point, he lags, and then comes back, and his left front tire is disconnected. And just kind of hanging on for dear life. And then, how do we get the caution out of it?
But does he loop it?
You can't stop on the racetrack like that. You cannot stop on the racetrack.
Oh, okay. I think he calls it quits.
So if we watch this from, we actually have a cactus cam, you'll be able to see Jordan White over on the apron. Watch, he's going to come into frame. And this will show when the caution comes out. Yeah, it's for Jordan. You can see him just under the left side of the cactus down there. Wow. That's going to save Zach Hall, not only for this race, but for this championship. Buzzio, Wood, everybody else had the opportunity of a lifetime with Hall missing his box. That just saved him.
That's got to be something for Jordan, right? Like, I mean, he just stopped in the middle of the track. I understand something was wrong, but he just... Oh, yeah, there's someone in the YouTube chat that's agreeing with me. Like, I just saw that. There's got to be, like, something for Jordan.
Well, and of course, we'll let the admins handle all of that, but this is really, really large. I honestly, I don't know where anybody's going to line up right now, because the only thing I know is Buzzio is going to have the lead, and Hall's going to line up with him. That's about all I know, because Hall is still on the lead lap. So Buzzio's got the lead. Hall will line up with him. Rafferty, I might have been the lucky dog. I'm not actually sure.
Hold on, I'll look back on the video when the caution came out.
Well, they're about to line up now. They're going by lapped cars, and pace car lights have been extinguished, so we're about to get restarted. They might add a lap to get lined up. I hope they do.
According to this, Rafferty was actually on the lead lap, and Fritz is the lucky dog.
There goes the pace car. Looks like we're not extending. We've still got a bunch of cars flying around at speed. This is dangerous.
What is happening?
Got a little bit of time to catch up.
Confused.
There's Fritz trying to catch the field. We have 5 cars in the pacing field, make it now 7. And there's a bunch more tagging on to the back. Oh boy.
I'm so confused.
15 to go, coming up soon. This will be 17 with the drop of the green. We're racing again in Phoenix. What's going on?
I really wish I could tell you.
So Johnny Wood gets back on the lead lap by virtue of the wave around. It was those 3, Buzzio, Hall, and Wood, who had no damage and were at the front. Now everything's mixed up. Rusty Rafferty 3rd place. 1 lap complete off the restart.
And yeah, look at that. We went from 3 cars on the lead lap. We now have 8 of them.
Maddox is back in this race.
A lot.
But Hall down to the inside of Adam Buzzio. We'll follow this through, and Hall's loose.
He's got about 16 laps left, trying everything to get his lead back. We don't really know what happened. I believe he missed his box. Resulted in him losing a whole lot of time. Caution came out, really bailed him, and now he's trying everything in his powers. He's going to go down the inside, trying to get clear.
That caution completely bailed him out. Not just for this race, but for the championship caution again. Sam Dyer turned around in turn 2. Who was ahead at time of caution? It seems to have been Adam Buzzio.
I'd really like to know what happened to him at the end of that. Like, during that pit stop, I really got to know what happened.
Here's a look for Sam Dyer racing back here with Brennan Maddox and Stephen Borbell. This is the run down through turns 1 and 2. Dyer on his own up top, just gets loose and slides around, maybe with some help from Borbell, but nothing Stephen did. And so now we can reset and get a chance to actually kind of see who's going to take tires here, take fuel and everything else. Who has them? If you have them, take them. This is the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, look at I'm noticing a lot of the guys that were towards the back of that lead lap group.
Well, they would have had to take the wave around there, so they still need fuel. They still need tires. That's why they're coming in now. Because the condition to get the wave around, of course, is to stay out while the leaders pit. So they have to line up ahead of the leaders if it just so happens to work out for them and not pit during the caution to get the wave around. That's how they got their lap back in the first place. Now they have an opportunity to get tires and fuel, and that is big for them. But this is the time, Super. This is the last chance we probably have to go ahead and do the NARL Driver of the Day vote. I don't think you've done one yet, so the floor is yours, basically. We each get to nominate 2 drivers, and, well, YouTube chat gets to vote.
I mean, I was going to go with Hall, but after what just happened there, he still had a great race, but I don't even know what happened there. I would have to go with Rafferty. 12 spots up into 3rd, contending for a potential win here when we end up going green. Just an absolutely amazing race. Yeah, look, it started 15th and is up into 3rd place. That's just absolutely all-star kind of level of drive right there.
I agree. Rusty Rafferty has to be on here. You get one more. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's probably gonna. I would have to go Buzzio. Currently leading the race, won stage 1 with a very, very good call to take the tires. Done everything they could possibly do, and now they're leading.
I don't want to discount the day that Zach Hall has had, 80 laps led. He may still win this race, but he tossed it away during that green flag run, and that's hard to look past. When you're talking about trying to come from behind for a championship, that's hard to look past. I'm going to go ahead and give Patinko a nomination. We'll get this restart in, and then I'll come back with my other nomination. Here we go. Restart zone coming up for these drivers. Let's sit back, see the restart, and then I'll give you one more nomination here in a second. Restart zone, 11 to go at Phoenix. Land rush to turn 1. Johnny Wood down low. He made it 4 wide for a second. 1 in the wall. That's Maddox by help of Fritz. Johnny Wood Jr. side by side with Zach Hall. Heck, that's my nomination. Johnny Wood Jr. for that move right there. He's back in the race. Forget the caution. Forget the circumstance. Forget being a lap down. Johnny Wood Jr.'s back in it.
Wow. As we see currently side by side, they go through turn 2. Hall just trying to make sure that Wood can't clear him, really shoving him down as low as he possibly can to that apron. He's going to take that run on the outside. I believe he's going to clear Wood. Yes, he does. Now he's got Buzzio in his sights.
Johnny needs to get back to that 32 car if Adam wants to win this race. I'm pretty confident on this even footing. Yeah, there's the fastest lap of the race from Zach Hall. I really do believe Hall still has the leg up. That's not a guarantee that he passes Buzzio, but man, it's certainly a likelihood. As Maddox works on 4th place, he's racing with Rusty Rafferty here. Rafferty hanging on to a top 5.
Yeah, amazing performance from Rafferty. Again, I already shouted out Rafferty. You know, kind of want to stop tooting my own horn here, but
Here we go, race lead. Zach Hall right there on the left rear quarter panel of the 5. He's there if he wants to make a move into 3. He does. He takes it. Buzzio gives him a lane and a half. And Hall's going to have the nose ahead for a moment. And at the stripe, it might have still been Buzzio, but not by a whole lot. Hall's going to have the advantage into 1. He sends it. And he's able to keep it down low.
Yep.
I mean, Buzzio gave him a lane and a half into 3. And now he's set sail.
no, Buzzio had a run, was considering a move, but backed out of it. Don't count out Johnny Wood Jr.
Like I said, Zach Hall may still win this race. It may still shape him up for a championship run at Miami next week. Oh, as Johnny dives there in 1, he nearly got to the 32. But Zach Hall, I'm sorry, he choked there under that green run. And if it did go green, he would not be winning this race in 5 laps. 5 to go, though.
I mean, it's just, right? It's just a matter of ifs. Like, if that caution didn't come out, what would have happened? If he would have made his box, what would have happened? But,
Sure.
you know, it's all just a bunch of questions that aren't really as important right now. Is look at this battle for P2. Neither of them willing to give up. That's exactly what Hall wants to see.
It is. He wants these two side by side in his mirror the rest of the way home. 4 laps to go. Rusty Rafferty, a dive here. He does not want to miss an opportunity to talk to us post-race. 3 wide. He's going to send it. He barely backs out there by turn 1.
Wow.
Rusty Rafferty, wow, this is incredible.
Yeah, and hey, there's Maddox in the background. He's going to try and send it for 4th on Rafferty.
He takes it. He can
Down
still
that
get
inside.
second.
Yeah, 2 by 2.
And I think Brendan needs to be an honorary driver of the day mention. We only have so many spots, but the fact that he never gave up while being so far behind and now is back up here in the top 5, he could still get second. Props to Brendan. Staying alive, never quitting. I don't know how the points are going to work out yet, but that's definitely going to make an impact, I think, on the whole field. Certainly, and certainly for his season here, as we're about done at Phoenix Raceway. 2 laps to go that time by.
Yeah, Hall extending his lead. Definitely got a little bit bailed out by that caution, but that's not important right now. Wood has since found his way up into second, ahead of Stage 1 winner Adam Buzzio. Brendan Maddox trying to find his way up into third.
White flag.
But
White flag brought to you by Whiplash SimCam's final time.
then a crazy race.
Crazy is the easiest superlative to use, but there are many you could use this evening. Zach Hall, turns 3 and 4, one more time this evening. He's still going to go to victory lane, but a whole bunch of crazy here in the penultimate round at Phoenix. Hall across the stripe. There's everybody across the line. Hall, Wood, Buzzio, Maddox, Rafferty, your top 5. And Zach Hall, is he going to have the points lead? That's the question, as he grabs himself a very important win here this evening. It almost wasn't, but then it was.
Wow. That was... I don't even know how to feel about that race.
I can tell you he's going to end up feeling relieved that he was able to still grab this win. And you see the burnout now, the celebration for Zach Hall. Still well deserved. He led, what, 90-some laps.
I think at the end it was 90, yeah.
Still very well deserved by Zach Hall as he makes sure to get the car to clear post-race.
Got to give the wall a tap, as we've seen pretty much everyone do so far this race.
Got to reset the rear end, make sure it's going to clear tech as Zach Hall gets it done here at Phoenix Raceway. This was just a crazy, crazy race. For so long, it was so tame. It was crazy there at the beginning. Carnage, chaos, insanity there to get going in stage 1. Then it quieted down big time. Nobody really had a car there for a while. And, boy, here we are. Grabs himself a win. Even after the crazy there coming to the end. And let's see, is he going to park it down in the actual victory lane? That's the hope.
Tell you what, this has been one of the races of all time.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Zach Hall, I think, is looking for victory lane. So we've got a couple of cameras there. We have this and some more. This is one of the few tracks where you can't actually park it in victory lane, and he is going to bring it around town. Here he is, right into victory lane, Zach Hall. Yes, sir. Some more burnouts. How's that for a picture?
Tell you what, that is a great picture.
So Zach Hall gets it done here at Phoenix Raceway. We never really knew what the heck was going to happen until it happened. Let's go back through your unofficial race results, though, and recap this one. Again, just a whole bunch of crazy here tonight. Back through this, though, race results are going to look like this. With Zach Hall on top, there you see the pass in the background of him getting by Adam Buzzio. Man, crazy. Hall wins, Johnny Wood second, Adam Buzzio third. We'll be talking to each of them here in a moment. Brendan Maddox, what a comeback up to fourth. Rusty Rafferty, what a day. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. Richard Wolsifer, sixth. Scott Fritz, seventh. Evan Patinko, eighth. A top 10 there for Evan is huge. Sam Dyer, ninth. And Coulter Clark, one lap down, able to hang on for a top 10.
Yeah, and let's not forget that at one point in this race, the entire, fourth and below was a lap down. As Stefan Borbell, 2 laps down, going to finish in 11th. Got Dakota Black finishing 15 laps down in 12th. Then we got Cole Lewis in 13th, Jordan White in 14th, Caden Perkins 15th. 16th, we got Carl Pooler. 17th is Robert A. Moyer. 18th is Anthony Teseo. 19th, Joshua Parent. 20th, Dan Stockero. 114 laps down, by the way, is crazy for 20th place. God, what a race.
And back in 21st, you will find Gray Walker 22nd to Dustin Stallings. We'll be talking to each of your top 3 here in just a moment. Let's dial them up, of course, beginning with Zach Hall. And Zach, I don't think we can properly talk to you here with the race win if we don't talk about that green run and the pit stop that never was. What happened?
Oh, that was, I got lucky tonight, guys. That was a heartbreaker there for me. I just, all night where I qualified, I messed my qualifying lap up, and I knew, kind of hated where my pit stop was because it's right in that corner, and I didn't want to be too far to the left. I want to make sure I was getting no penalties or nothing. So I stayed a little too far to the right, I think, and just misjudged it. I should have had a marker better for that and had my countdown for my box on, but I didn't have that either on. So yeah, I went to turn in and I saw the pit crew behind me in my left monitor, and I was like, oh no. And at that point, I was pretty much just focused on changing 2 tires. I was going to try to just hope maybe a caution came out, and I got lucky. I mean, sometimes it's just meant to be, and I guess tonight, luckily for me, it was.
Yeah. So how did you feel when the caution came out?
I was rejoicing a little bit because I knew that was going to give me an opportunity, of course, to get back in it. I didn't want to see the other cautions after we went green because I was just about to get by Adam there, and then it also allowed everybody else to get on those newer tires there, and I was really concerned if I let someone pass me there on new tires, I was never going to be able to pass them back. I feel like if I could stay second and at least get to the back of Adam and maybe pressure him to just overdrive a little bit and get tight, and luckily it worked out. I'm very, very thankful for this one. This was a very dominant performance that almost was just thrown away from a very bonehead move on pit road.
Yeah, I'm wondering, do you know the conversion rate to Jamaica to send that bill out to, or I guess the thank you note out to Jordan White for just happening to have his issue when he did and bring that caution out? Because I mean, we were riding you out trying to figure out where you were going to slot in after your pit stop, and I mean, to be fair, you did the right thing for your strategy. You stayed out in case a caution came out, and then it did.
Yeah, I definitely owe those guys for doing that. I never want to see, like, I feel, it's one of those mixed feelings wins because I know I completely tossed and just threw it away there and just it took every opportunity of winning out of the window there if it stays green. And to make a mistake like that, you can't do that, especially in these races. And I got bailed out tonight. Luckily, sometimes that happens in racing, but it definitely hasn't happened much for me, I would say, in my racing career here on sim racing. But luckily tonight it did play out for me. But we'll take this one and see what we can do next week at Homestead. It's going to be, I think, a very close battle going all the way down to the checker flag there.
Yeah, I don't know how the standings look just yet. It seems like I just got tagged, so that's the results getting uploaded. We might know points here soon, but I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for them. I'm sure you are as well, Zach. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how you guys roll into Homestead. Do you want to call your shot? Do you think you can get it done there too?
I need stage points there. That is the thing I think that really hurt me tonight. Like, I don't want to say, call my shot and say I'm going to win it because these guys are so talented. Like, Adam is so good at these race runs. I really, really am impressed by the 5 every single week with how consistent he is, and he doesn't make a lot of mistakes either to mess him up. So he's going to be very tough to beat. And then, of course, I mean, anything happened. I was backwards going down the straightaway there, I think, on lap 3 of this race, and I didn't know what was going to be the night like for me. So just got to take every lap as it goes, and hopefully by the end of the checker flag next week, I'll be the champion. And if not, I've had a blast, and it's been a pleasure to race these guys.
It was a wild one here at Phoenix for sure. Congratulations, Zach. Good to talk to you as always. And, well, we just got the standings, actually. Let's see. 1 point.
Whew.
Live reaction, Zach. Thoughts?
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted it to be. I wanted to leave here with the points lead. That was my goal entering the night. But I think with the way the stage played out there with the cautions and not taking tires and a few of those guys, like Adam getting the stage win, I think that really made it a lot closer than just winning. But that 1 point, I think that is about as much as I could have asked for after being 31 back going into the second race.
There you go, Zach Hall. 1 point down of Adam Buzzio going into Miami next week. Congratulations, Zach. Hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, guys.
And that means we can go on down to position number 2, Johnny Wood Jr. And Super, he's all yours. I wonder what he's got to say.
I just got to know how you felt, like when that caution came out. You were, I want to say you were a lap down when that caution came out. How do you feel about being able to get second?
Oh yeah, that was a pretty interesting turn of events. I did not take tires on that one wild big wreck, so that luckily put me in the lead. If not, I would have been kind of in that mess. And then I probably would have been chasing my lap back like the whole 3/4 of the field. But then, yeah, Hall and Adam kind of drove away. And then we had a late race caution to kind of bunch us back up. Yeah, I was asking Richard how that would work out with the caution and a lap down, and will I get a lap back and everything. And I knew I just pitted. If I would have waited one more lap or 2 more laps, it would have been kind of landed in my favor. But, I was trying to pit with the leader, do what the leader does. But came out with second. It was fun. It was a good race, so I'm happy with that finish.
So we just got the standings. You are 22 points behind championship leader Adam Buzzio. Do you think that is a gap that you can close next race?
If we were going into Talladega, yes. Going into somewhere like Homestead, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people just lay over and just let the championship drivers top 3 kind of run it out. I'm just run a race, try to win everything. So just hopefully they get into a wreck.
Yeah, and what are you thinking about Homestead? Right? What's your what's your main goal for that race?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really turned laps on it. I know in the next gen, the high line is kind of, you got to go hand in hand. You kind of got to know both bottom, middle, and top lines. I haven't run this ARC car there yet, so probably got to cut some laps to see how it goes. But Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm not gonna sweat it too hard. Whatever happens, happens. I'm fine with whatever.
All right. I don't have any more questions. You did a great job today. Very impressed with your second place finish.
Alrighty, thank you guys.
Johnny Wood Jr. with a solid run here this evening. I know at one point I felt like he was the favorite coming into the chase. It hasn't really panned out in his favor, but boy, it has completely panned out in Adam Buzzio's favor, aside from maybe that late race caution. Adam, what was the reaction like there?
I was disappointed, obviously. I knew Zach had some problems on pit road, and it was looking pretty good for us. That's how it goes, though, man. I'm really not too disappointed. I'm disappointed about the yellow, obviously, but Zach was obviously the quickest driver all night, so Johnny got one over on me there for P2, but we had a great points day. Like we talked about real briefly earlier, you know, we kind of made the bold decision to take tires there to try to maximize stage points, and it worked out, right? Like we won the stage and got all those points. And not having those tires didn't end up being a deficit. So all in all, really good race. We are 1 point ahead of Zach going into the finale, which is super cool. He's going to be really tough to beat. I'm going to have to do a lot of homework to have a shot, but we're going to give it our best try.
And that's exactly where I was going as far as my next question. Zach Hall was lined up to at least drop down, you know, south of the top 5, I think, with the extra stop he was going to have to make. And suddenly he's still winning the race and you're not second, you're third. So I mean, that obviously plays into this deficit quite a bit. You still have the gap, sure, by 1 point, but I'm sure it would have been a lot nicer to go into Miami with at least like 5 or so. Does this change anything for you? I mean, obviously it's hard to plan while the race is still going, but now that you know you're only 1 point ahead, are there alarms going off? I mean, Hall's got now 5 wins.
Yeah, no, it doesn't change anything for me, man. I'm super, it might sound corny or not competitive or whatever, but I'm just super happy to be in contention, honestly. The beginning of the season was really rough for us, and obviously the second half we caught some fire and got the consistency back, got the good finishes. We got our monkey off our back and got the win last week, so it doesn't change anything for me. Whether Hall was 5 back or 1 back, he was going to be, you know, really hard to, it's going to be a good fight, so I'm actually more excited than I am nervous. Hope we put on a good show for you guys. But yeah, doesn't change too much for me as far as the approach.
Adam Buzzio, a win at Talladega, a stage win here this evening. Still leading the points. Not by much, admittedly, but you have the advantage technically into the final race of the season. Best of luck, Adam. I know it's going to be a stressful week of preparation for you. Hey, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we will. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for the great coverage. Thanks to our sponsors, my wife Julie and my daughter Autumn.
Hey, good to talk to you once again, Adam. Best of luck next week, and I know we'll be talking to you at some point next week.
I hope so. Thanks, boys.
Adam Buzzio with a good night here at Phoenix Raceway. I'm still kind of in shock of how this race ended up going. Oh boy, and I'm kind of high on the race stats graphic. You see this, the 6 cautions, right? That does not tell the story at all, because I think the timing of those cautions is important to the context. Boy, what a race. That is just an unbelievable way for this race to have shaken out. No clue what was going on the first 70. Then the next 90 we thought we had figured out. Then the caution comes out for Jordan White, throws everything out the window, and well, here we are. I mean, just what a race. Wow, I am just blown away. But next up for these guys, obviously, we've been talking about it all day. Miami, super. This is, anything can happen. Homestead's one of those places where truly the whole racetrack is opened up, and these guys can run anywhere on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a bloodbath. Everyone's just going to be jockeying for positions. It's going to be an amazing race to watch. I'm looking forward to it.
One race to go here in season number 5 of the BRB Sundance Pro Series, and we've got an award left to hand out. and the vote just came untied. So before it can get tied again, and we have a runoff like we did last night for Nora, we're going to go ahead and give it away. Rusty Rafferty is today's North American Racing League Driver of the Day. The Miss Rachel Special couldn't win Best of Show. It wins Driver of the Day. That is unbelievable to me. But if you look back at his stat line, started 15th, runs up here, punching well above his weight class. Was in the top 3, I think, at one point. Yeah, highest of second. Got himself a lap lead. Finished 5th. Career day for Rusty Rafferty here at Phoenix. I know a big part of it was attrition, but he had to be in the right places at the right times. He got the Murtis Esports Mega Miss. Everything aligned for Rusty Rafferty this evening.
I mean, it's just an amazing race. Yeah, as Rusty is, he's posting his Mertz Mega Miss in chat. Very excited about that. What a miss it was. He just had an amazing race. Completely deserved it. I don't even know how to react. I mean, the race is still. I'm still trying to recover from what happened.
An incredible day here at Phoenix that's going to shape certainly at least the next week of the series very much. I've been saying that, this was going to be one of those formative races for the championship and the league as a whole, and certainly it was that. A big thank you to our partners with the series: Sundance Pizza, Sundance Trucks, Ideal Lease, KC Athletics, RevSimShop.com, Performance Food Group, Whiplash SimCams, CC's Business, and MXWraps.com. And a big thank you as well to our partners here at the channel: Whiplash SimCams, MXWraps.com, ATVO, Murtis Esports, CC's Business, and the North American Racing League. We've got one race to go here in BRB this season, but here's a look at what's upcoming for the whole channel in the next week or so of broadcasting. Next up, this Thursday evening, we've got pro drivers on track down in Mexico City for the North American Racing League at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. I'm excited. That'll be the very first time we actually get road course racing broadcasted at Mexico City here on Pitstop TV. And then we take the NASCAR 2003 Cup cars out to Bristol on Monday for some short track racing. We do have a kind of weekend off. I do want to say happy birthday preemptively to Jordan White, who'll be celebrating his birthday this Sunday, March the 1st, as he goes for a second straight win in the All-American Racing Network. That's a series we typically have here on Sunday mornings, but we will not be live this Sunday because I'll be recovering from a hangover from my birthday on Saturday. So we're taking a week off and letting Pirate Broadcasting fill in this week for Phoenix in the All-American Racing Network event, because, like I said, I will be trying to sleep in that day and not broadcasting at 10 a.m., but happy birthday preemptively as well to Jordan White. And then we come back Monday and Tuesday, Bristol with NASCAR 2003 Cup cars, and then Homestead with the BRB Sundance Pro Series for their season finale. And then next week, we continue on, of course, with the North American Racing League as they take their AM drivers out to Mexico City next Thursday. So I'm excited for 2 weeks in Mexico and all this great oval racing in between. And there are some big things on the way here at Pitstop TV as 2026 continues on into March. Super, now that we've had you on for a full broadcast, not just a pre-race show, how are you feeling?
I feel like this was definitely one of the most interesting races for me to get on for. I mean, I love it. This has been an amazing experience for me. So much fun. I really love doing this. Hopefully you guys will bring me back for some more races in the future. I don't know, this was just such a fun experience for me, and thank you so much for allowing me to have it.
Well, I guess here's the invite to have you back next week for Miami. Should be a lot of fun, wrapping up the championship in just a week's time. A big thank you to everybody for watching. I do believe that's it. I'm pretty sure we hit all the marks, right? So we will go ahead and shut things down this evening. Thanks so much for watching here. It's been a pleasure, as always, at Pitstop TV. We'll see you next time, hopefully, for the North American Racing League this Thursday from Mexico City, and hopefully again on Monday for the NORA Retro Cup Series, and then again next Tuesday for the continuation here of the BRB Sundance Pro Series as they wrap up season number 5. That'll do it for us. Once again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Zelazny might have a run here. He pulls up. 2 laps to go at Auto Club Speedway. What a run this has been. 5 cars out front just dancing around for the lead. Salas back to the bottom. Honeycutt stuck up top. Slide job out of Salas. Crossover out of Honeycutt.
23 showing a big run here. He does.
You see Salas starting to cover it up. He goes up the racetrack. Honeycutt's clear of them both. He shoves it up in front of the 23, gets himself loose. It'll be white flag this time by. Salas down low. Zelazny looking for a hole. Side by side, 3 wide, coffee in it. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go. Brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams. Who is going to win the Luke's Playhouse 200? Honeycutt controlling the race. Coffee in second. Tires are aging. Zelazny off the top rope. Got a little bit free. He's going to crash with lights. And yes, wall there. Who knows? Honeycutt, though, leading the race. Can Coffee get a run? He's going to send it. He hits him. Big bump and run. Coffee's going to try and get away. Can Salas get there? Coffee's going to crash. Salas is going to crash. Watch Nick Lights here to the stripe. Salas is going to do it with no front bumper.
Unbelievable.
Wow. There's the white flag from Barney the Flagman. 1 lap to go at Long Beach. White flag is out. Brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams.
Yeah, can really hold him off. He looked like he's started to gap Cantonio just ever so slightly. Got about half of a second. It's been hovering right around there. Oh, Cantonio really pushing. He's sideways out of turn number 1. But really just keeping that car pointed in the right direction. Nice and smooth. Able to keep it going. It's going to be tough. Antonio knows that there's not very many chances, even if he can get close enough to him to make a move. So we'll see as they come through 6 and 7, head toward turn 8 onto the backstretch.
Deeper in the field, nothing changing. Lap traffic ahead. It's Kevin Peak and Bradley Alvis right in front of our race leaders down East Seaside Way. And to turn number 9 for the final time. Lap traffic in the way, and Rayleigh goes for it on Peak. He sends it into turn 9. He knows he can't wait. He knows he can't give an opportunity to Kevin Cantonio. Cantonio's going to take it anyway. Ships it into the hairpin, and Rayleigh's going to get away. Thomas Rayleigh is going to be a race winner in the North American Racing League. A last lap bump and run wasn't enough. This man wins at Long Beach.
Wow, what a finish coming through that hairpin. I thought they were all going to wad it up. We had lap traffic in there, staying